Welcome to the EST Hangout.
This is the EST Hangout, and today's guests are...
Happy Monday morning to you. Welcome to the EST Hangout presented by White Claw Hard Seltzer. YouTube Trev giving us a new intro. That today was the first time ever we got to play it here. Fun thing for me and Murray.
We can't hear it.
We can't hear anything.
I want to hear it.
So I don't know if it worked properly or not. We saw the video go through. For those on the audio stream, hopefully you heard some audio prior to me speaking. And for those on YouTube, you would have seen a little bit of a video. And then now you would see me and Murray. Matt Iwanyk, Murray McCourt with you on... There's an echo? Okay, thank you. We'll fix that echo. It won't be on the audio stream. I think this is the issue for that. Echo should be fixed momentarily here. Matt Iwanyk, Murray McCourt with you here on the EST Hangout presented by White Claw. Dash from Heavy Hockey Network, Oilers Live, which gets won't be Wednesday at 5 this week because of Oiler game. But typically, Wednesdays at 5 right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. He's just had to go close his door.
Probably a good idea to get that door closed today.
He's got a card that let him know just as me, you, and him were just chatting here as the morning show was wrapping up, and then finally got the notification this card door's open. So
that's hilarious. Technology these days, hey?
Do you like it?
Hey,
Is there a point where too much technology is...
I don't know. I think the technology in vehicles is important. I bought 2 vehicles in the last 2 weeks, 2 brand new vehicles in the last 2 weeks. And, having that technology, all those features is, I mean, man, if he didn't know that his car door was open, he gets out and how are you going to get a tow truck or something to come and help you out today? You're not. So, man, that's important. That's important.
Hours till you're probably in a tow truck today.
I heard 6 to 8 hours today.
I bet that fills up. I bet by the time you're listening to the 5 or 6 o'clock news, we're talking about later, like a lot
couple
longer.
Of days.
Yeah, because I'm assuming, so that's before the full morning rush this morning, and then the afternoon rush. So
well, and I have to call the police right after the show's over. Because
I'm sorry.
Yeah, because you're a bad dude. You're a bad dude.
They get a little
the police
close,
are after you. Yeah. So last night, my wife and I are taking off to go to my in-laws for Sunday dinner, and we see this car slid off the road, and we're on a corner lot right backing onto Rabbit Hill Road. Have one of those big, huge, fancy brick or stone fences, and a car had slid off of Rabbit Hill Road and smashed into our fence. So
fence,
yeah. So we see that there's nobody there in the car, but we take pictures, so we got the license plate and everything like that. But it has a hole right through our fence. Like they drilled our brick cement fence, and it's crushed. So we take pictures, everything. We take off, and expecting that maybe there's going to be a note on the door, someone's going to contact us. But nope. Then we get back from dinner, and the car's gone. Just this big smashed brick or stone fence behind our in our backyard that is probably, it's tens of thousands to fix it. So I got to call the police and say, there's a hit and run on my fancy fence.
Did you get a picture of the car?
Oh,
like
yeah,
the license
got a picture
plate?
of the car with the license plate.
Okay,
so they're
sweet.
in a lot of
You're
trouble.
good. You're in good spot.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's not good. If you're going to smash somebody's property, you probably should take responsibility and.
It's going to be cheaper in the long run.
Yeah.
To just deal with it than probably a hit and run penalty that's coming if you get caught.
Yeah. Well, we got their license plate. They're caught.
Well, the only thing that I think the police could go with is who's driving the car. That's the only thing. You get it because I had a hit and run once where I was with some buddies. I got hit from behind, and they just drove off. But one of my passengers memorized the license plates. I went to the cops, gave it to them and stuff. They did the thing. They found the person, but they can't prove who specifically was driving. So they could only charge the car owner with, I forgot what it was, because it's their car, so they're responsible for that. But they can go fully there's a part of it that they can't do. But hopefully you get.
Well, because
I'm assuming it's their car, so I think they'd be responsible.
Their insurance is going to pay.
So
for
they
my
could even
fence.
say, somebody else was borrowing my car. Well, so who cares? You got to fix this fence.
Exactly. And how much damage is going to be done to the front of their car if they destroy a stone wall fence?
That car's probably a write-off.
There's going to be some you'll be able to notice.
Yeah. It left a mark.
Residue will be left. There'll be points to be like, yeah, that's brick.
Yeah,
that's brick right there.
Right.
Your car door got closed?
My car door got closed.
Dash from Heavy Hockey
A lot of
with
snow.
us now.
A lot of snow.
There is a lot, but we can't complain. I'll just say that. And
The moisture, yes, please.
Yeah.
Now, did you say you drive a Tesla?
I do.
How is the Tesla on this much snow on the roads today?
It's a rear-wheel drive, so it's not awesome.
Okay.
But yeah, I got here okay. It was all right. No.
they're rear wheel drives?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, didn't know that.
It doesn't love the snow, but it's okay. The battery hates the snow more than the tires, I think. But.
How much do you lose in the cold?
Yeah, it depends. Is the super answer to that? There's a linear, I don't know, rate almost. Like at -10, you probably lose 25% of your battery power. -20, maybe 40%. -30, now it's like honestly 60, 70%. If you park outside, it's even worse because you got to warm your car up before you can even leave. And then that takes 10% of your battery to even warm your car up. And
So it sounds like a big pain in the butt.
no, I mean, we charge it
love
every
it?
night. Yeah, I
You
love
love
it.
it?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
good.
it's not
I
very
want
Albertan
electric
of me,
so
but
hard.
it's.
You
That-
want?
I want an electric car so bad.
Well,
like it's
I've been to a gas station in 3 years, man.
it's one of those.
Really? What?
You charge at nights, and you're good.
Yeah.
What about long trips? You're going to Calgary. You're going to BC. It's all like how do you deal with it then?
BC, we haven't done yet. We probably could. Calgary is just a quick stop in Red Deer for about 20 minutes and hit a supercharger there, and then you carry on and hit another one in Calgary before you come home. But we're often stopping to go to the washroom or grab a bite to eat or something, anyways. So
Are they easy to find?
the chargers,
Yeah.
yeah. Most major cities have the Tesla chargers, and then there's a lot of other brands of electrical vehicle
So
chargers.
how many are in Edmonton example? I mean, there's gas stations on every street corner,
Mm-hmm.
so and they're easy to see. You know where they are, but charging stations, I think
Because you're not
there's-
looking for them.
There's
Right.
hundreds.
There's hundreds. I think I've seen one that really pops into my mind. Like, bam! Oh yeah, that's what that is.
Yeah.
But there's hundreds, really.
Right in Oliver Square area, there's by one of the little strip malls. There's one that they've installed there. I always see a Mustang electric car being plugged
funny,
into
yeah.
that one. There's some residential areas that I've seen them being put in. Like it's
Almost every rec
There's a-
center, lots of the
Yeah.
libraries are getting them.
In 20 minutes. 20 minutes.
no, that's the supercharger with
That's
Tesla.
the supercharger. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And other brands make that supercharger as well. It's the way they call it is level 1, level 2, level 3 charging, and maybe that terminology is going away now. But for the sake of this, level 1 is like you plug it in that plug right there and behind cardboard Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
Level 2 is it's your 30 amp, 40 amp, quite a bit of a more commercial size charger, but it's going to take you 6 to 10 hours to charge. So that's what we have in our garage. That's what
Right.
we charge overnight. But a supercharger is a DC charger, fast DC charger. So they hook it right up to the fast. It's just like getting the and then you're done in 20 minutes and you go.
Still not as convenient as filling up a tank of gas in 1.5 minutes, but
Nope.
it's
Nope.
No, but I go to Costco and I sit in a line for a good 10 minutes before
you
I
go.
can fill up. Anyways,
to save $8.
yeah, but I get the cheaper gas at that point, and I don't know, like. Oh, my
$400 or
audio's going.
$500 in gas in a month versus that time, right? I mean,
Yeah,
It's
that's a
and there's
good
an
point
evolution
for
that will
sure.
come from the electric cars. Like back in the day, I remember being younger. You had to stop in Red Deer to get gas because you couldn't make it all the way to Calgary, and then over time,
yeah,
things
fuel
got
efficiency improved.
everything got
Wow.
better. You could make a trip there and back basically almost without stopping. So then with the electric chargers, eventually one, the batteries will just keep growing a little bit more, but two, you'll find a lot more chargers and a lot more faster chargers
Yeah, it's gonna
to
have
go
to.
things going.
I can only envision 5 to 10 years from now what that's going to look like. It's going to be like the evolution of the batteries, the evolution of the charging. I mean, it's going to be night and day difference compared to what it is today for sure.
Yeah.
Like even we have a brand new fleet of carts coming to the ranch this year, and like the battery improvements that have happened in power carts in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Oh my! I mean, now the price of the carts are
Sure,
almost
yeah,
doubled in the
yeah,
last 3
yeah.
years too.
You don't have to take them out. You don't have to
batteries-
service them. You don't have to do
Nothing.
a lot of that
There's
stuff anymore.
Zero
Yeah.
maintenance.
Yeah.
Like you have to. In the old batteries, we had to have a guy that every couple of weeks would top them up with water, and then the getting them ready for winter, the testing every single battery, and if they're not, if it doesn't test high enough, you have to take it out and keep it in a warm spot. I mean,
Yeah.
that's all done. It's over for us, and
We finally figured out lithium ion, and then hydrogen will show up.
yeah, something. But that evolution,
No, hydrogen is leaving California. That's they've stopped. Like people are whoever was in charge. I think Shell or somebody's pulling all hydrogen stuff in California. It hasn't worked out well at all. VR Montenegro saying, "How's the power bill?"
Good question.
So yeah, no, it's fine. It's like, so it's a 30 amp breaker on my panel, just like my range or my dryer is. So, we charge it. It doesn't need to be charged every night. It's plugged in every night, but it only takes what it needs. So, it's...
Well, you can schedule it to go at the right time too.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. It's like doing an extra 5 loads of laundry every month. Like we haven't seen a spike in our power bill.
So it's almost not noticeable?
Almost not noticeable. Wow. You know what's noticeable? The fees on the power bill.
Savage the Plumber also going, Dash, how's the beatdown treating you this morning? That was a heck of a fun fight. Heavy Hockey Showdown yesterday. You and Savage the Plumber. Savage the Plumber, Gordie Howe hat trick. Also, I think just a regular hat trick. You two got into it. How you feeling
learned
today?
what
Jersey
happens
came over your head?
When you try to get aggressive with a guy named Savage. Is really what it comes down to.
Not a wise move, hey?
Yeah, he's maybe aptly named. I don't know. It was a coincidence or not, but I'm not sure I landed one, and I ended up on the ice on my face at the end of it. And then he went and scored, I think 30 seconds after being out of the penalty box, and almost got you guys back in the game. So maybe that's a fight.
We were back in the game.
Maybe that's a fight I should not have chosen.
Oh, Savage played on EST.
He was Team EST, yeah. Oh. He was basically one of our top players. Like he carried us in a lot of ways.
The physicality.
Well, and scoring goals.
Yeah.
Well, how many did you score? You were talking about being down 6-0 in a game.
Well, we lost 10-7.
10-7.
Oh, that was
No, we made a comeback. We made a bit of a comeback. The boys wanted the Dutch Masters.
Yeah.
I had a cigar, Dutch Master, and in one of the timeouts I said, boys, I brought a victory cigar, but we got to win for you to smoke this. Let's go win. And it's my old motivational thing. Didn't work. They didn't care.
Well, the problem was
but we came close.
You might have had all the motivation in the world you wanted, but Dusty touched the trophy.
That is actually, I completely forgot about that. So we were at Hudson's Bourbon Street, West Ed, Friday for a watch party, and Michael from Heavy Hockey was there, but then Mike Dursa showed up, I think, with the trophy.
Yeah.
And there's a picture of Dusty holding the trophy. And it's just like, do you really touch the trophy before take a picture with it before you go play for it?
Posing with the trophy 2 days before the game.
You think that's really a jinx, though? All these teams that don't touch the trophy, like, come on, if you touch the trophy, it doesn't impact anything.
Well, we lost.
Did they win?
We lost.
No, that's fair.
We lost 2 games.
So it's all Dusty's fault. It's not the coach's fault.
It's no. Okay, let's make this clear. Coach Pete did a fantastic job running that bench. Coach Pete was amazing. He's going to be a guest on the Hangout one day. We'll have a further chat. Coach Pete came. He was very stoic. He brought a good presence to the bench. We had a great physical therapist, Lieutenant Eric. He was supplying the gum to the players, cinnamon, getting them feeling good.
I could smell that on the ice. I thought you guys were drinking Hot 100, actually.
Fergie's prostate was keeping it loose on the bench with his comments, opening that door. He opened and closed that door like a champ. He was the best at it. And then there was me, being the young assistant to try to get this team going. I will say this very clearly. Coaching was not a problem.
It was not a problem.
We were amazing. We were fantastic. And I don't think you could look at the 4 of us and be like, there's an issue. Well, I'll say that right now. We were great.
You did tell me some of your strategies that you were preaching. It was a problem. Coaching was a problem.
It was not. Okay, so one of the strategies Murray's pointing out to is that Dustin and Tommy looked at me on the bench and they're like, they were playing defense. And like, wait, you just want to go up. We just want to go play. I said, go up. We're down. We're down by a few goals. So it's like, go up, go join the rush. I don't care if both of you end up there. I don't care if no one's playing defense at that point. We're down. Who cares if we give up another goal? Go score me a goal. And you want to know something? Dusty went and scored a goal?
Wow.
Never mind the 1-3-1. Never mind any of these formations. Yeah. Matthew Iwanyk
just
coaches the 5-0.
It's the nuclear option.
Just everybody to the paint.
Why do I care about defense right now when we're down 6-0?
That's a good point. And you came back. So after that point, you won 7-4.
Yes.
So you didn't have your team prepared from the opening face-off,
which they should have been. I gave them the whole any given Sunday speech.
Well, and see, how
does that not get you ready to go?
Somebody on the other team, but I heard that this was a football speech. Like I heard you were giving football advice and how to gain inches to get the first down in a hockey game. So I'm not sure
because it's one of the greatest speeches ever.
It is.
Like, you can't go wrong with that speech. And in the end, I'm not changing a piece of that speech. I can't change in my as I was
Hockey's
reading
a
it.
two-syllable word.
Well, as I was reading
That's
it,
iconic.
I
You
saw
can't
football
change it.
coming up, and I was thinking, do I switch this to quickly say hockey? And I was like, no, of course not. Like, I got to say the speech as Al Pacino did in Any Given Sunday.
Yeah.
Because even the best part of that speech is for me, where I get to go, I'm an old man. I can't do this. You guys, look at all these young faces around me, and I'm 33. One of the youngest people in that room telling these people that they're younger than
Yeah.
I didn't change that part, so
Yeah.
the boys weren't ready to go. That's not my problem. That's not coaching's fault.
The-
Coaching came together and realized afterwards, me, Coach Pete, myself, Eric, and Fergie, that we did a great job.
The incredibly
And,
sportsmanlike player that I am, I went to go shake Coach Pete's hand at the end, and he just looked me straight in the eye and said, well, coaches are hired to be fired.
He knows it. Well earned that fight.
But we all know in hockey, you know, it's kind of it's a little bit cyclical. You know, there's not a lot of coaches to choose from, and who knows? Maybe we'll give Pete a go next year.
Jay Ridcroft's still hanging around the city. He's not doing much.
I'll take some Woody.
Yeah.
we're just gonna. I think, Murray, what we need is we need a little bit of you. We need you GMing this.
Well, I told you. I got
Like,
some
we
guys.
8-time champ. We need someone to go get us a couple players, make some moves.
I told you. I could get Delorier playing goal, no problem.
There you
See,
go.
but we switch goalies for both sides, so we need forwards or defense
Okay, well, we can do that.
because that could help them too. So we need a couple. I think
Laddie
a
Smede's
good
in
two
town.
players.
I could text
Oh,
up Laddie,
forgot
get
about
him
Laddie.
out.
Oh boy.
Well, I'm expecting next year for 2025 at least one of Belzy, Gager, Cass.
Well, exactly.
Will join us.
Why were they not there?
Little short notice, little bit of
Poor planning on our part for not getting to them sooner, I would say, on Team EST's part. This is why we need a general manager.
There you go.
Now,
To be on top of
how
things.
do you think you would have done dropping the mitts with Cass?
If Cass dropped his mitts, I would take off my skates, walk to the dressing room, and go have a shower.
Yeah, he's a big, strong man.
Yeah,
that wouldn't be fun.
I would not be interested in that
No,
dance.
no. But you know what, though? We were talking about this, but, you know, you were telling me a little bit beforehand, like the money you're raising, the cause. Let's talk about that because this is spectacular.
Thanks.
Heavy Hockey Showdown this weekend, led by the Heavy Hockey crew. You, Michael, your guys' I forgot the name again, your mom for the show.
Jacqueline.
You guys did an amazing job organizing all this. A great pre-party on Saturday down at Soho, full house. Won myself a signed Terry Vaughn picture, so I'm
You
very happy
didn't
about
win,
that.
you bought.
What's a win? So, but
He's a winner. It was a
Okay,
hell
It was
of a
a
value.
beautiful picture. Beautiful
It is.
picture.
So in the silent auction, I got a Terry Vaughn signed picture, donated by the Edmonton Elks. Got a letter of authenticity. It's my favorite play. Like, I opened that up, was going through my phone. The moment I saw the Terry Vaughn, I'm like, I'm getting this. Like, this is mine. Nobody, like, this is going to be coming home with me today. Like, straight up. A great party there.
Come home with me now.
That was it. Like, that in my mind, that clip should have played as soon as I saw that picture, because I'm like, no one else is walking away with this Terry Vaughn picture. That's my favorite player. JMO thankfully got me a picture with Terry this year at the when he
awesome.
came for the Wall of Fame, because JMO knows how much I love Terry Vaughn, so
course
I
he
got to
did.
meet Terry.
Yeah, JMO's a beauty.
So once I saw that picture, I was like, yes, that's going to be mine. And then yesterday, downtown community rink, 2 games. Heavy Hockey beat Team EST twice in the 2 games. First game, we pulled the goalie and almost tied it up.
Yeah, it's close.
Second game, got down big, made it close, couldn't finish it off. But that was all the fun. This is all going to a great cause, Sexual Assault Center of Edmonton. Right now, over 45. Is that where we're at? Around the 45,000 mark?
Yeah, let's just we'll call it between 40 and 45 right now. I'd say we're probably closer to 40 than 45, and that's okay. Yeah, you know, we did a great job. We had the silent auction. We had the all the donations, and of course, you know, everybody coming together. Some really important corporate donations: Yates Whitaker LLP, Flirt Cupcakes, Nice Agents. You know, everybody came together as a family. You guys included. You're now part of it, and I'm really proud, really incredibly proud of what this family has done together to be able to pull all of this off and be as successful as we were together. Last year's game, I think, was our top ever, and we got just over $20,000. We're already over double that this year. Thank you guys so much for Edmonton Sports Talk
on that one.
participation. You know what? We're gonna push the pedal to the metal and go hard next year, and maybe we can get $100,000.
And last year with the 20,000, sorry to interrupt, but it brought down. You've mentioned
waitlist considerably. We're not sure of exactly. We're at least a very big part of last year's SACE waitlist, going from 12 months to 7 months. And we're a part of that, not in charge or responsible for it. But we were their largest fundraiser last year.
Spectacular.
So for us to double that this year and be able to provide that for them again, we're really hoping that maybe those 7-month wait lists can start to diminish closer to zero. For every $97 we raise, it is another counseling session for another survivor.
Awesome.
And, at $40,000 or maybe $50,000, we're looking at 500 maybe sessions, for people that are sitting there waiting. And for those that have experienced sexual abuse or sexual violence, waiting 12 months or 7 months to be able to talk to somebody about it, be able to talk to a professional about it, that can be too late. It can be too late. And the consequences are, it's hard to gauge what they could be, really, right? Obviously. So for people to get help immediately is very important, and it's something that we really strongly believe in, and hopefully we're going to push towards that cause. So yeah, it was a fantastic event. I'm emotional talking about it because it was incredibly fulfilling.
Well, the money is absolutely incredible, and there's still a chance to get that up even higher. You messaged this to us because
thank you.
You guys, as well as the Oilers Girls Night Out, there's a 50-50 for that one that is taking place. Yeah,
so we've had this 50-50 going already, actually, and we did the same thing last year. We partnered up with a fantastic organization, but it's Oilers Girls Night Out. Yeah, it's Jenny and Krista and a bunch of their friends, really. It became like a Twitter group, I think, just everybody all the females that loved the Oilers on Twitter all got together and started watching games together. And it just, so we decided to partner up last year to go and kind of try to push that dollar amount to a new high or a new level, and they are an absolutely massively integral and important part of the dollar values that we got last year, and we don't expect anything different this year. So you say we're at 42, maybe we're getting closer to 45. I heard a rumor that if we get to 45, there could be a silent sponsor that'll get us to 50.
Well, that came right from Michael, I think.
Yeah.
He posted that right out there. I'll have to see if I can grab that one quickly here.
Yeah.
I was trying to retweet the 50-50. I'll get that retweeted on
maybe
the
we can
Yeg
put the link
Sports Talk
to the
right away.
50-50 into the chat. But, as that 50-50 grows over the next week or 2 weeks and that starts to grow, I think maybe we can still have a chance to push to that $50,000. And let me tell you, Edmonton loves a 50-50.
Well, as Dustin did say, though, Edmonton loves an Oilers 50-50.
Yeah.
It's there's a lot of other great 50-50s that we could go support too, but people do love those other ones. But there's a lot of other great causes that deserve a lot of other support. Yeah. And, we say we love 50-50s. Let's go show it. And it doesn't always have to be the big ones from the Edmonton Oilers. It could be from other stuff. Michael, before because he's getting on a plane soon here to head back east, he tweeted this. We're still aiming to hit 50,000. In order to do this, I may have a donor that will match the next 5,000 in donations if we can get it. So if someone has a company willing to donate 5,000 or even enough personal donations, please reach out. We'll raise 5 more, and that will equal 10 in total. Thanks to a special donor there as well. So a great night. Well done to you. Well done to Michael. Well done to everyone involved. This was it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it sounds like it. The stories you guys were sharing earlier, and I just want to say this. Coincidentally, my wife and I right now are watching a documentary on sexual assault, and it's a true story, and it focuses more so on one girl that was raped by the guy that they ended up catching, but the system and the process and the help that she wasn't getting was ruining her life until she got into one counselor that was able to get to her. I mean, and so when you start telling me about this, and just with what my wife and I are watching right now, and how the impact on this girl's life by not getting the help she needs, I mean, it was just like, wow, this is
Thank
awesome.
you.
So good for you guys.
Thank you for sharing that. What series is that?
Is this the girl who escaped?
No.
Okay.
Jeez, my wife always brings it up.
It's all right. I won't put you on the spot, but I appreciate you bringing that up because there's a real life story, right?
It is, and so it is just because we're watching it. You were telling me this, I was just like, oh, that's so awesome, so good for you guys.
Thanks. Yeah, and that's one person, right?
Right.
And,
yeah.
Statistics say 40% of Albertans have experienced some sort of sexual abuse or violence. And
yeah, for sure.
40%.
Yeah, that's a big
40%.
number.
How many millions of people in Alberta?
Yeah.
Well, and in the end, hockey's right now got a bad rap. The hockey culture's got a bad rap. And it's not because of the majority of people in hockey.
That's right.
It's a small few, but it's hockey's deserve that rap based on what's happened. So I think it's up to everyone else that's involved with hockey to show, no, that's not hockey.
Hockey Canada has not done a good job.
Nope.
They have not.
They've dropped the ball.
Done a good job.
They've dropped the ball. And that's an understatement of what's happened there. So
and let's call a spade too. It doesn't just happen to women.
Nope.
Kyle Beach situation, talking about the hockey culture and
Theron
whatnot.
Fleury and everything back to that.
Exactly, the Graham James scenario and whatnot. So, I mean, it's sometimes it gets pigeonholed into women, but it's not.
Sure,
It's,
absolutely.
it's men as well that can get abused. So. That's
to our knowledge, we were one of the only sporting, organizations to have ever reached out to SACE. We're just a podcasting network for the most part that loves the Oilers. We're just fans of the Oilers that started talking about it and started to grow. But ultimately, it's crazy that hockey has this black eye, but I don't know.
we can go change that though.
I'm sure swimming and gymnastics and volleyball and basketball and football and they all experience this.
Sure, absolutely.
So I applaud. I don't know. I think I challenge anybody out there that's part of a sporting organization. Reach out to SACE. Reach out to SACE and do some help for them because they really, really need it.
In the nasty chat server, Brett saying it was a super fun afternoon, guys. Looking forward to next year already. Savage the Plumber, I'm definitely back next year. We need to win that trophy. Already back in the gym getting ready with a wing face. Trevor Archibald, it was a blast. I'll be back next year for sure. Survey Brett, though, also saying Maddie was trying to get me to engage on his childish antics, but the officials kept their integrity and ignored his temper tantrums, kept him in the game.
Leave it to an official to self-declare their own integrity here.
Yeah, there was a moment where Surveyor Brett had a nice, very quick whistle. Loved it. It was great. Really helped Team EST out. Called a relatively good game. I will say that. A couple of moments, Brett, you missed the call. You missed it. And I'm not gonna let I gotta show my players that I'm there for them.
I mean, how does Savage get 2 minutes for beating the wheels off of me? And then he gets to just skate out of the penalty box and score a goal?
I don't see what's wrong with that.
He should have been in the penalty box for another 3 minutes.
Well, he scored a goal. So this is where I think, Brett, you did an okay job.
Okay.
Did an okay job. I have some things I could go with.
At best.
There's a couple of mistakes. Linesman, fantastic job for the most
amazing
part.
lines. No offside.
One messed up. I wasn't happy. There's one bad right in front of me. Called it, I think, offside. And I was like, there's no chance it's offside. I'm right here. And no, didn't like that one. But for the most part, they did a great job.
Well, he was probably right there as well, but...
Yeah, but he got it wrong.
Okay.
He got it wrong. I was right there.
I'm sure the linesman was looking at Tommy's hair or something. It would be just... Maybe,
didn't he have a helmet on, though, covering the mop on his head?
His hair is his helmet. When you got that much dippity-doo in that flow,
There's no chance Tommy's touching dippity-doo.
Yeah, I was going to say
there's not a chance.
That's probably
Actually, Dusty used to have a little bit at the old place when he'd do his CTV hits. There was a bottle of dippity-doo. This was years ago till he grew up a little more and started doing the TSN stuff. And then
Dusty grew up?
He did a little bit. We'll have to get him in here momentarily and stuff because there were 2 trophies yesterday.
Yes, there was.
One we did not win, Team EST.
The Adam Zakinski Cup will go to Team Heavy Hockey this year.
Well, it's in the work, like Trevor saying he's in the gym. I love that. Savage. That's the commitment I want for Team EST moving forward. I'm expecting more from the rest of the guys. Scouting mission's already on for next year. I'm finding some added players to help. Look, in the end, Team EST lost, and you guys won, and credit to you, Heavy Hockey, but this is an embarrassment for me as Team EST to lose our first hockey game.
Well,
I'm very disappointed in the boys a little bit right now, and again, not coaching's fault at all. Wow. This was all on the players.
Could you imagine?
And here, Coach Matty's blaming the players, yet those players were the fundraisers that were responsible for the more important trophy, which is the fundraising trophy. So even though you guys didn't win the AZ Cup and we walked away with a victory, you may have earned the biggest victory of all. So I don't know if Dusty's got a moment to come in.
I've just texted him, so hopefully he can come by right away and we can get that.
You know
fully
who the
done,
biggest
but
winners of all though isn't it's the people that need the help.
Thank you.
That's
Well
who
said.
the biggest winners are. But
Well said.
Pretty important.
This is fully designed by Dash. He built this all, and here's Dusty in here.
Dusty.
Just to get a little award presentation officially is leader of Team EST, our captain,
Captain.
our captain.
Don't know if I'd say leader. But,
Well, where are we putting that to?
no, I guess I would have been leader. Thank you very much.
This is the
Look at
fundraising
this.
trophy.
Very nice.
The fundraising
Very nice.
trophy for the Heavy Hockey Showdown.
We had that one guy,
Your team crushed us in fundraising.
7,000.
Almost 8.
Wow.
Almost 8? Yeah, that's a huge chunk of it. So shout out to you. This means a lot. Shout out to Fergie's Prostate and Pete for helping us raise some money here. This gets to stay. Is this a keeper? Can we
That's
just
a
keep
keeper.
it in for the year?
We'll put a
Perfect.
plate on it.
Sweet.
We got to
Well,
name that thing though.
Now we got to
It
name
is.
it, so we're actually going to throw that out to the Nasties. What should we name this fundraising
This is
cup?
for the money side of it.
This is for
Yeah.
the money
Okay,
side,
yeah.
top fundraising team.
Yeah.
What should we name this? We have a fail-safe backup plan, but we want to see what there
What's
is.
the backup plan?
Nasty Cup.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's an easy one.
But
Yeah.
780-218-9999, Paris Jewelers inbox, or jump in the Nasty chat.
Bro,
What should
you're
we
going to have to
name
play
the,
next year.
Well,
I'm already
being
getting credit for
recruited as
GM.
a
We have to.
hey,
I mean,
He's an 8-time GM. He built it.
yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
He's
not
going to have to go find us a player.
eight-time champion.
Some
So
guys
it's gonna
will be
rate.
cut. It's that simple. We were miscast. As I don't want to put it on you as coach.
You guys,
But,
you guys looked at me right at the start and
Tommy
said we're playing
nor I
black
are
end.
defensemen.
And I told you skate up.
Well,
I know, but I can't because then I'm supposed to be back.
No, don't
I mean,
come
Dusty,
back.
he's been throwing you under the bus for the last
was
20
saying,
minutes.
it's
So for you to come in and give him defense.
I mean,
It was go up. We're down. We're down like 6-0 already. Who cares? Don't play defense. You skip another goal. It's 7-0.
what's
Go
your
try to
opinion
score a
of the
goal.
coaching job they did? Because he's just gloating
yes.
about his coaching.
know, I
I
was-
didn't say, I'm not going about my. I'm saying it wasn't the coaching staff's fault.
I think he was gloating.
I don't know. I thought
agree,
our staff
I
was
agree.
pretty quiet after we fell behind. I think after you tried to use the cigar thing to get guys going, I don't know if we had any other answers.
No, you didn't.
No, not
But then
me.
or then
the coaching
they
staff
started
didn't have any
scoring.
other answers.
Well, you guys then started scoring goals.
Could have mixed up the lines a bit. Could have moved Tommy up front. Could have moved me up front.
you guys to skate.
I mean, there's lots of different things. I hate playing defense. I very rarely play defense. I never play defense in like men's league or anything like that. But so as captain, I get in the room and I say, "Hey, who wants to play D?" Nobody's arms are going up. So Tommy's like, "Dusty, I'll play D," and then I was like, "Well, screw it. I'll play D too."
There's a leader.
And yeah,
I was saying for a
so I
charity,
sacrificed.
a charity event, I'm pretty sure we could get Laddie Smead to come out and play D for.
Yeah, well, we
EST.
said Belsey. Like,
I think
Belsey and
Bel-
Cass
Bel-
have to play next
I will
year.
say
That's a
this:
rule.
Belsey's the number one for me of who
Yeah.
we need because
We
he
could use
could
a puck
go.
mover on the
Okay.
back end.
He could go on the back end. He could feed you guys. Tommy could sit at the blue line. He could just feed
yeah,
Tommy.
I'd
Boom.
move back
So
up front.
Belsey Laddie as the top D pair. I think that'll do.
I would separate them.
We will
You
not touch the
separate
puck.
them.
I would separate
We
them.
will not touch
I would
the
have
puck.
two separate D pairings.
Good point.
Belsey carrying one line, one pairing. Schmid.
See, I'll
carrying
get you the
other line.
talent.
Yes.
You get,
I wanna get
piece
Cass.
together the lineup.
and me and Dingman on a line.
Oh my!
Oh, Dinger. We
That's
could get
three
Dinger in for sure.
Huge dudes, two really tough guys, and me. And I'd feel pretty safe out there with
Two
those
tough
two guys.
and one tough look.
Yeah. So it was, it was a lot of fun though, and a lot of good money raised, and do more next year, obviously. And come up with a name for this. I feel like there's some sort of like,
There's something there, right?
there's got to be something with the Oilers being
listeners always
financially
come up with
cash.
the
strapped.
Nasty
Like, there's
Cup
gotta be
is
some
too
sort-
simple. Too. You
Yeah.
got to get a little more creative.
You got to, there's got to be there's got to
Agreed.
be a little bit more there.
The listeners always come up with something.
Yeah.
though.
Something
And we've got
good.
lots
They
of
never
time.
fail.
We've got till
Yeah,
next
we got
year.
lots of time to come up with it.
We'll
exactly.
come up with something.
Yeah.
How are you feeling today? You had your bath?
I had a bath last night, which was needed. I was so pissed off at myself yesterday. Like I had that church thing, and then I came into work for a bit. So I got home at like 5:30, and I walk in the door, and like I felt like I finished just day 11 of the world's longest hockey game. I was like,
Oh,
my
wow.
God. So I got to start playing hockey again. But yeah, no, it was good. I had a bath last night. Actually, I feel pretty good this morning. It was just like last night. I was aching, but I feel pretty good today, which is okay.
Did you want to address the subject of touching the trophy 2 nights before?
No, you know what? If we had like the better roster and lost, then maybe. but I thought we were up against it pretty good. You guys had some guys who could play. Like, you guys had a pretty good team. I was shocked that we only lost the first game 4-3. We should have lost that game like 10.
We almost tied it.
We had a 2-0 lead, but we only had 2 shots. Like
we had the puck in your end for the first 10 minutes of that first period, and you were up 2-0.
Yeah, so I don't think we jinxed it.
Well, don't say we.
Well, yeah, I don't think I jinxed it by touching the trophy. I don't feel bad about it. I'd touch it again.
Ooh,
I guess is what I'm saying.
Wow. Do it again.
I respect doubling down on that.
Yeah, well, I mean, if I can't sit here and be like, oh, I regret I did it, and then say I'll do it again. I mean, whatever. I'm okay with it.
Full scouting missions for the next year. We'll be watching a lot of film. Not of the game, but of future players. And
yeah, well, you need defensemen. You need defensemen.
Yeah, that's the start.
Like when we put Chatty back there,
My brother plays
things
defense.
changed. Does he?
Yeah.
Hey, he
I
could
texted
play.
him a little bit.
He could play a little bit.
Chatty was good too.
Well, Chatty was good when he got back on D. Well, he was
So
good up front
we
too,
go
but-
get a good 4 defenders.
Yeah.
You and Tommy are then going up front.
I was going to say
Changes everything.
we could get Gager between the pipes, but I think the goalie we had might be better than Gager anyway. so I think we probably just stick with the way it was.
We just need to go, like I said, 3 to 4 defenders.
If we get some defensemen, then Tommy and I can
Good.
play up front.
And then that's an addition in itself.
Yeah, exactly. It's like if the Oilers go out and get a top 6 winger, but don't like trade Fogle and stuff, and then they all get pushed down the lineup, and you get
makes you better.
get into the roles where you're supposed to be.
Makes you better.
Right?
Exactly.
So
What about a
GM,
5-letter?
4 defensemen.
Yeah, 4
What about a
defensemen.
5-letter word that starts with D? We could do a draft.
oh yeah, draft wouldn't be bad.
EST
now that we
loves a
know
draft.
some of the guys,
Right.
It would depend. It would be tough if they hadn't.
The hard part about it is the names on the
people that hadn't
jerseys.
signed up and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah,
Because we got the custom jerseys.
Yeah.
And, you could do it Saker's way and get the
that would be
nameplates after the
tough
fact, right?
With
But
the yeah. No, I think it was put together well.
It was great.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was a great afternoon. And so congrats to Team Heavy Hockey on
Yeah.
the championship.
congrats to
Glad we
Team
came
EST
away
for
with
this,
some hardware,
and
boys.
We got some hardware and go find a place to put that somewhere,
Dusty,
Dusty.
before you go though, I gotta ask what the heck you're wearing. You're a walking billboard today.
Yeah.
Red
This
Bull.
is a
F1.
Red Bull F1 hoodie.
Season starts this weekend, right?
Season's right around the corner.
Yeah,
The weird
I'll
thing
read
is,
through that.
You
I'll
gonna
sleep
watch?
through it.
You gonna watch on Sunday?
No.
in
6:30.
No,
I think
chance.
lights out.
in the ultimate twist, I actually don't like Red Bull. They're my least favorite team, but I like the look of the hoodie. This stuff is expensive. I actually had one of the guys at Bobo One give me this because you can't find F1 gear anywhere, and when you do, like a hoodie like this is like $220. It's ridiculous.
Well, all those logo hits.
So,
Yeah, you think
my
they're
God.
cheaper because
and
of all
it's
the
got
sponsorships.
the thumb holes, like a
Oh, you
Lulu,
like that?
something from Lulu.
Dusty quoting Lulu. Here we
Yeah,
go.
I'm not a big Lulu guy myself. This is the closest I get.
Shocking.
But it's pretty cool. So, but yeah, anyway, that's what it is, Mer.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Dusty.
Hey, you guys good?
Yes, we got the trophy to the captain. Scored a beautiful goal yesterday.
Oh,
Thank you.
Scored
Snipe
a beautiful goal that needs to be mentioned.
show.
As Trev was saying,
was more of a dangle than a snipe.
It was pretty good.
as,
guys.
as YouTube said on the morning show today, that he's surprised how little Dusty's talking about it, because if Trev did it, that's all he'd be talking about. So
Yeah, but Trev's not capable of doing that.
Oh,
Trev
burn.
didn't score 300 goals in the world's longest hockey game.
yeah, Dusty scored a lot of goals in that one.
Back to
I
back,
did,
300 and some goals. Yeah.
See, I did 1 year I did the goal bet.
Goal per
Or
goal,
donation.
$1 per goal. Yeah.
Well, he's a big man. He's got them dangles for.
He's got some moves.
Oh, buddy.
Oh no! For when you look at
Oh, he
Dusty
can tow
size
you,
wise,
yeah.
you wouldn't think that guy could move as well on skates, but he can.
Wow.
He doesn't move that well on skates, I wouldn't say.
Wow.
But he can move the puck well while he's on skates.
Yeah. So we got to get 4 defenders next year.
All right, 4 defenders.
If we could convince Belzy and Schmid, we need 2 more.
Well, it's not a convince Belsey. You just tell Belsey.
There you go.
Well,
That's the GM. There you go. Yeah, that's why he's
I
the
like
GM.
this is why the GM, because I'm looking at this going, Belzy might sit there and be like, why am I joining you guys? You just lost. Mm-hmm. We got to
He wants
convince.
to turn that around. He wants to be part
we
of
would
a winning,
op-
winning team.
We would welcome Belzy with wide open arms on Team Heavy Hockey if he wants to go and give Tommy a spanking. You know?
Well,
He did that enough, I think, when they were younger.
now a regular listener of this, I don't remember what his name is in the Nasty Chat. If he's listening, Brent Smith, who listens, he's chimed in a few
Yep.
times on this. Tell you what, that guy was the best defenseman I ever had on my
Oh,
team
yeah?
for 11 years. Yeah, but I've seen pictures of him on Facebook. He's a few lbs up
A little
from
higher?
his playing, but maybe he can chime in and see if he can, because I tell you what, if he can still play even close to the level that he did playing junior hockey on my team, yeah, he's a swell addition to Team EST.
How's Kark Martin? What does he play?
Well, yeah, we can get Kark too. I mean, he's a forward, but Kark can play.
None of you guys are catching Allie, Emma, or Michelle.
No.
Like, they might be our top line next year.
Who are they?
Oh, well, Allie's part of the committee, friend of Heavy Hockey. Her and Allie and Brent play together in men's league as well. So they rec league as well, I guess I should say. So they brought their line
Tangled
out
through our, like, just skated through our team.
Like, Emma played varsity. Like, she played on the other team last year, and my groin still feels that, like, she
But
can
you see, I take this
skate.
as a challenge because, like, if I don't, my recruiting skills are pretty strong, and if someone thinks that they could, like, put together a team that could beat a team that I put together, I would never sleep. I would never sleep to give you the roster that would be unbeatable. That's just the way I think.
Team Heavy Hockey might hire Murray. Maybe there's a bidding war.
EST already.
Did he commit? He just said you told him he could be the GM, but I don't think he likes being told what to do. We would like to ask him nicely.
I like to win.
That's what I like to hear.
Well, then you know where your bread's buttered.
I'm the type of... I'll do what the GM wants of me. If Murray's the GM, I'll do what he wants of me on that bench. I won't be Art Howe.
Video. You had some pretty cool video. I think you were pretty spectacular on the bench, just not the right systems. But yeah,
You tell me however you want. However the GM Murray wants it done, I'll get it done. I'll go that
now, how
way.
competitive is the game really, though? I mean, your fight was obviously a pretend
Oh, of
fight,
course.
Yes.
and I mean, there's no. Is everyone going, or are you just out there
They're
having
going
some
as
fun?
much as they can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was trying to
Game
score.
2, yeah, everyone's trying to get the goals. Everyone's, like, there's no physicality. There's no, like, you're not laying someone through the boards or
Nobody's
anything
yelling.
like that.
Nobody's screaming.
I looked across my bench, though, and, Dusty's saying that we didn't have answers as a coaching staff once we fell down. That's because also when we looked at the bench, we saw half our team sitting on the bench because they're all gassed and completely tired.
Yeah.
So they didn't really have much left in them. So they were going, though. Like, that also was like they were giving it. When they went on the ice, they gave it, and they were tired through the second game.
All right.
So
Maybe next year we have the
stamina is going to be key.
the party after the game instead of the night before.
Well, because people aren't getting any younger.
This is true.
So the
This is
recovery
true.
time is just
Yes.
not the same as it was.
97 Octane saying, I believe Emma played at U of S.
Yeah, that sounds right. U of S or U of A, something like that. Yeah. But played varsity and is an absolutely amazing player. Absolutely amazing player. You know, when like somebody can, a really good professional skater, you can just hear them skate. It's just the grind
It's
and
something
the
different, yeah.
man. When I was playing D last year and she came, I don't know if it's been a long time since I've been that intimidated. Like that
How big is
stride
she?
and that 5'10",
So
5'9".
she got some good size
Yeah.
to her too, yeah.
No, I remember early in game 1. I saw her skate through and around like 4 different EST players on the ice.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. That's
Here
how
we
it's
go.
going to be.
Here
That's
we
not
go.
good.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, because if it's the same time period next week, Karek will be available because it's Scotty's weekend, not Brother
Yeah, but the
weekend.
only issue is he going to be... I don't think he's going to get hurt at all. There's no one getting hurt, but is he going to be a little... I got to watch it for next week because Briar's the week after.
Yeah, like we talked about when he was on the show, Karek's a hockey player first, curling second.
I like that.
Love it.
I like
he's-
that.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have it'll be a great time again next year. But well done to all of you at Heavy Hockey, and right now coming up on 45,000 raised, and hopefully through that 50-50 with Oilers Girls Night Out could get to over $50,000. But in the end, last year getting over 20, and doubling that. The next year. It is amazing. So a lot of fun, and also Hive Product Marketing, the official merch partner of EST. They also did wonderful jerseys for us at the game yesterday. Promotional products that bring the buzz. Check them out, the hiveproductmarketing.com. And again, congratulations on the victory. Not happy with the boys. People also not happy with the Edmonton Oilers right now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of...
Why?
There's another hockey game going on this weekend.
Well, there was 2 of them
apparently.
this weekend, and
Another
the Oilers
one
dropping.
tonight.
So, where's your guys' concern level of the Oilers right now? Is there a concern level? Because I heard one person text into the morning show today saying when they lose to LA tonight, that's how it was worded.
Wow.
I'm not saying that. They said when the Oilers lose to LA tonight, now it's time to be concerned. So like basically he's going, yeah, well, if they're going to lose tonight and then it's time to be concerned. Is there a reason to be concerned?
Fire away.
I'm okay with it. Yeah, I mean, you can't win every game. I think we probably, as a fan base, got spoiled a little bit with that winning streak, right? And we're never going to lose again. We'll never lose 2 straight again. Look at, we're the most dominant team ever. I think at one point in time, before this little 5-game or whatever's been going on, I did some research, and we were since Ekholm was traded to us. And again, this was when we did the show on Wednesday on Oilers Live. So as of last Wednesday, the Oilers, I think, were 50-18-2 since Ekholm came.
That's okay.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So I think there's enough of a sample size over 60, 70, 80 games now, going back to, the last quarter of last year to now. I'm totally fine if we lose 2 out of 3. We'll come back, and the Oilers have gotten it very good, which is, in my opinion, they were not good in the past of coming back in games, finding their way through games. I found that 2, 3, 4 years ago's Oilers, once they were down, I could shut the TV off. Last year that changed. I started thinking, oh man, they got a chance, and now this Oilers team, I really do feel that they've got enough experience and enough skill that they can come back in any game. Our biggest. And to wrap up this way, I think, am I concerned about anything? I'm concerned about how we self-load manage. Because I think that McDavid or Draisaitl or whoever in the leadership group, maybe it's the coaching, I have no idea, but there's too many games where they come out and only try just hard enough. And every once in a while that gets them. So I'm not sure that was the issue with Calgary. I doubt it'll be the issue with LA. But it is going to happen over 82 games. You're not going to play 100% every 60 minutes of every 82 games. And because of that, there's ebbs and flows. And I think we're just in that right now.
Yeah, for sure. And that term ebbs and flows is exactly what I was going to say. There's 82 games is a long season. And there's ebbs and flows all day long in that. And the Oilers have had some extremes in the beginning of the year, an extreme the other way in the middle of the year. Are they as bad as they were at the beginning of the year? Of course not. Are they as good as 16 games in a row? Of course not. They're somewhere in the middle. Maybe we're still finding it out, but they just played 3 and 4. Is that an excuse? Well, you know what? These guys are still people, and 3 and 4. If you go and look at historically that third game in 4 nights, teams lose far more often than they win.
Yep.
They're tired. But, the one thing, and I'll piggyback down on what you were talking about, guys, like, hard work beats skill when skill isn't working.
Yeah.
And, I would love to see more of Zach Hyman's energy and work ethic throughout the lineup on any given night. And, sometimes guys like Zach will get there and he'll pull the team along and whatnot, but he shouldn't necessarily have to always pull the team along. Guys should show up and just work like he works. And, they've proven they can do it. 16 in a row it happened. Yep. They're a good quality team. I just don't feel they're working as hard in this moment as they did, but they will again. And so I'm not really all that concerned. They just need to play a little bit better defensively like they were for a big stretch, a little bit stronger work ethic, and I think they're going to be just fine.
I'm convinced with it. Sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, this is the EST Hangout presented by White Claw, Matt Iwanyk, Murray McCourt, Dash from Heavy Hockey, Wednesdays at 5. Murray from the Ranch Golf and Country Club VIP Golf Show, April 28th, returning here to Edmonton Sports Talk. We're live on iHeartRadio as well as a TuneIn Radio. Go ahead.
I don't know. I probably lost my train of thought.
Okay.
Boy.
What I find interesting with the Oilers, at least right now, is like during that 16-game win streak, there was like the people going like, this team is perfect. Like, there is no moves. No move is necessary. Yeah. And now it's back to, like, there's a bunch of moves that are needed. I've said this pretty much the entire season. There's not a lot of moves I think Ken Holland can make, just cap situation-wise. Yeah. Like, there's
and
just...
assets.
And
cap
assets
out. Combined.
Yeah, there's not a lot.
Much there.
Yeah, so... It'll be interesting to see what they go for. I'm one of those people that goes, I don't go for the forward.
Add
the defense. You win. Team EST lost because the defense. No, the defenseman wins, and like You could sit there and you could talk about goaltending and you could talk about a backup to Skinner and getting something better. The question I would have is who are you getting necessarily that
And what are you giving
is
up?
going to be good enough that is out there available that we know for sure. But what also could help your goaltending is just having the solid 6, well, the full team, but I'll just focus the 6 defensemen in front of them could really help out your goalie. So why not go and solidify your goaltending? This has been a healthy blue line. They've lost 3-man games all year, whatever it is. What if an injury occurs? Who's the next guy up? Is it Philip Broberg?
I think
Well, it has to be right now.
Yeah,
Oh, it's Broberg.
Broberg's
So,
fine.
but okay,
it?
but you. Here's the thing. I don't know if he's fine.
Well,
I would rather have, like, even if it's the Oilers, go get a veteran guy. That if you even start Philip Broberg, if it doesn't go well,
If
you
you're
have
trying to
another
win a
option
cup-
to put someone else out there.
If you're trying to win a cup, you can't be auditioning D-man in the playoffs.
Yeah.
well, you're going to be auditioning a couple of them there in a way, anyways. I mean, Desharnais. What's he going to bring in the playoffs?
At least he's got last year to go off of, and he was emotional in the first round. I thought he pulled it together in the second round and was better, but he's got that experience to draw on. Broberg has nothing to draw on as far as NHL playoff experience, and that's a different animal.
Sure, but his talent level is far
Absolutely.
superior.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I remember what I was going to say earlier. I was convinced that this Oilers version, maybe even from All-Star break last year on to now, I'm fairly convinced now that when they want to turn it on and play their best game, they can. 18-2-1 down the stretch in the last 21 games last year. They did that because it was the stretch, right? They needed to
But they also needed it.
That's not just exactly. They needed to get into the playoffs. They needed to get to where they were. They needed to, then they have this 9-11 games of bad luck at the beginning of the year. Yes, I'm going to call it bad luck. There was weird injuries. McDavid hurt. Ekholm hurt. McLeod hurt. Whatever. All of this. The PDO was off the charts. Like, we weren't getting our puck luck, if you will. Then we needed to win again. We needed to win again because we weren't going to make the playoffs if that hole would have got dug any deeper. And look what happened. 16-game winning streak. And I do feel it comes down to that self-load managing for whatever it is, but I think when guys like Hyman and McDavid, Draisaitl want to drag their team into the fight, there might not be 3 better.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
Like if you need players to drag your team through something, I think there's not a better trio I would want right now in hockey, maybe.
Yep.
But it just seems like that needs to happen too much,
Sure.
too often.
But it still comes down to, if you look at, since it's salary cap era, how many teams have won the Stanley Cup with, 3-ish really, really, really high price contracts, because it takes away your opportunity to have more depth. So a team like Vegas last year more guys are pulling into the fight because they have more depth. They have more ability to get those third and fourth lines going when you don't have so much money tied up in Leon Connor and Darnell Nurse. It's very rare that teams win the Stanley Cup with 3 guys eating up that much of the cap space.
I'd have to go back and look at what the full numbers were, though, of the Pens when they won, because Crosby, Malkin, Letang, and then your Blackhawks even, they had 4.
For the salary cap era.
Keith,
No, it's salary cap. Salary cap was 0405 when it came in.
405 is when it came in?
Yeah, after that first lockout, and then the
Basically
Blackhawks
Crosby's
won.
rookie year.
But you had 2 unbelievable defensemen, Duncan Keith
Well, but
and Brent
contracts were able
Seabrook,
to,
along with Patrick Kane and Jonathan Taves.
but
So I'd have to
contracts
look at
were
what they
able
were.
to be different, though, because Duncan Keith signed that 12-year deal.
They did
at
shorten them
$5.5
because they had those
million.
front-loaded.
Yeah.
And
Well, then that's the cap.
and
They
there
changed
was
the
some-
rule,
The
cap
Kovalchuk contract.
restructuring, and all of that.
And then there was the year we won the cup. Like, hello, watch what Vegas is doing right now. Patrick Kane separated his shoulder, I want to say was the injury. And then that enabled us to go out and use his space to get a couple other guys that no way in the world we would have been able to have if Kane didn't get hurt. So that helped build some extra depth there as well. So
Just like Kucherov in Tampa, just like Stone in Vegas.
Exactly.
The Oilers
And-
screwed up with that last year. I said it when Evander Kane got hurt, got his hand cut.
Yeah.
I went on the air and I said, sit him till the end of the season. I don't care when he could come back. You sit him.
Use
You
that
make
5.5.
that move to go get a forward. You could then still have the money to go at your defenseman. Imagine that team last year that Ekholm and added another forward, and then all of a sudden Evander Kane comes back for the playoffs. Yeah. And it's one of those injuries where there's no way a doctor could ever say, no, you're fine. Because it's one of those feel things.
Exactly.
And people could complain about the Golden Knights all they want, but right now hockey's okay with the idea of
it's allowed.
putting people on IR, risking your regular season in a sense, but to bring them off in the playoffs. I will throw one thing. I don't believe the Golden Knights ever fielded a playoff game last year with a team that would have been over the cap.
Oh, really?
I don't believe. At least I know in the Stanley Cup final, I believe every game that they played, that team would have actually come in under the cap if you added up their salaries. Just going to throw that out there. But they had the extra depth. But you want to know something at the same time, too, though? I don't complain about that the Golden Knights are doing this. I don't complain that Lightning are doing this.
It's the rules.
The NHL hasn't stopped this. The GMs haven't stopped this fully. So then
the Oilers should take advantage if they can.
do the same thing.
Absolutely.
Don't try to be high and mighty here and go, we're going to win the right way. No.
Just
Go win.
Go win.
Yeah.
It's like the game of pro wrestling, right? You got a 5 count for that chokehold, so you might as well choke them till the 4.
Yeah,
it's within the rules.
Yeah, for sure. But go back to talking about it forward. Like everyone's talking about Jake Gunsel. And would Jake Gunsel look great on the Oilers? The kind of the rumored package out there of Warren Fogle, Bo Akey, and the first round draft pick this year for a rental. Like, are you kidding me? I would never make that trade because the Oilers' future is so bleak as it is on the prospect front and pieces. Like, if they're gonna make a move, I would rather see a hockey trade, like something
like Hall for Larson.
Well,
are you talking like, or even like? Are you like the Ekholm trade last year?
Ekholm trade is a hockey trade.
Yeah.
I would rather, I don't want to see the Oilers giving up huge assets for a Jake Gunsel who's only going to be here for a few months and then be gone. I don't think that makes any long-term sense for their organization, and I think they could really source out some other moves that are hockey trades that could help them in the future. And not just giving up assets. I mean, you got to get rid of something. You have to give something to get something. But I'd rather tweak the roster by giving out something that you get something back in that is maybe going to help you, not just for 2 months.
Yep. I mean, that's what Tampa Bay did, right? They kept bringing in guys at the deadline that had term, right? Yeah. So they got to keep those guys for a couple of years and then still have them on the roster. Exactly.
Yeah.
Right?
And they gave up a lot of assets for Brendan Hagel, and now he gets the big bucks. But they had him. That's part of the reason they had to give up so much to get him was because his contract for a couple years still was, I want to say, $1.5 million.
Exactly. So if you go and look what actually was traded for Hagel, it was 2 players from the 2018 World Junior team.
Yes. Which I was on pins and needles of. I'm a big diehard Blackhawk fan.
Yeah,
but
I was gathering that when you said
we also got 2 first-round draft picks, including Oliver Moore and their pick this year, plus 2 players. But neither of those players will probably be on the Blackhawks next year, anyways. But they'll probably they're RFAs at the end of this year. I think they'll move on from both of them. But I mean, they played for the team for a couple of years. That was a great trade for the Blackhawks, even though Hagel's a great player, first liner there. But man, we got Oliver Moore with the first round pick this year and their first round last year, and then their first round pick this year. I'm more than okay with that trade. But you're right. I was like, oh boy, when I was so nervous
Chicago
about
taking
that.
on 2 2018
we did
World
not
Juniors,
need any of that going on after the beach situation. So.
Now it turns out they weren't involved, but when the trade happened.
Yeah,
I did. It crossed my mind.
Yeah, it's a lot of people's minds.
Chicago, come on.
Tampa Bay knew something that, But
now does Chicago get the first overall pick again this year?
Ooh, yes, please.
Hey?
Yes, please. We got Connor Bedard back now, so it's turning the tide on. I think we'll end up second last because San Jose is really bad, and they have assets that they can trade out of the trade line. Blackhawks don't, but the ping pong balls can go away again.
They go anywhere.
Right.
I'll be intrigued. Mike, what do the Sharks have cap wise
in space?
Yeah,
lots.
Yeah, have a look. I don't know.
I just want to double check exactly because it's one of those. And that's be smart with that. Get involved and be a third team in a trade. You want to know something? If you're the San Jose Sharks or you're the Chicago Blackhawks, you should be looking at the Edmonton Oilers right now, going, we can get some assets for
Yeah.
them by just eating cap for them right now.
Right, and that's what
Like,
that's
get
what the
involved
Blackhawks
with
are
that.
going to do at the trade deadline
Yeah.
this year because they don't have a ton to trade that teams are going to want. I mean, but they're going to utilize that cap space. if
So
they
San
can.
Jose with not actually as much on cap friendly when it comes to current cap space. It's a fair amount. It's $9 million. There's quite a few teams though that have more: Detroit, Arizona, Columbus, Buffalo, Nashville, Anaheim, and the team with the most is Chicago. Wow. Chicago with $33 million in that's their current cap space, according to cap friendly. That's where you can go get assets. You go eat a full the majority of a contract and be like, give us a pick.
The Hawks number is going down though. Connor Murphy's going to come back from an injury. Athanasiou's coming back from an injury in the next few weeks, so that number's going to drop. But still,
30 million.
It's
Well,
still
yeah,
gonna be
so
20
the
million.
projected cap space for them is 9, and San Jose is 3, and I think that'd be for the end of the season.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
But there's money there to be held where you can go and be that the broker.
Here's the
Absolutely,
most
yeah.
5 important assets in the entire NHL: Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, Matthews, McKinnon, McCarr. Cap space, cap space,
Yes.
cap space, cap space.
Connor Bedard too.
All right, fine. This was my line from last year, so you're right. Yeah, we'll
For
throw
a
that
couple
in
of
now,
years, I would
absolutely.
have if I'm a team, I'm only spending to the cap if I absolutely just need to.
Right.
Like it's an absolute must to keep this core that is right there ready to go. Otherwise, I would always want to have a couple of million ready to go because it's
if
so
you need
valuable. And now, and especially these last few years where the cap just hasn't gone up. Now that changes a little bit. Cap's going to go up, so some teams are going to start getting that relief, and there's going to be more teams with it. But like this year, when you have that,
because
what do you
now,
mean?
now the second that happens, all the free agents are going to they're going to look at the percentage.
Try to eat it up.
I want the percentage. I don't want a number. I want the percentage of the cap hit. So their salaries just go up, and there's so many teams that are up against it as it is now. There's only I don't know the exact number. I'm going to say 6-8 teams in the league that are in a quality cap position. And those are all the lesser teams like Chicago and San Jose and whatnot. But boy, I don't know. I feel like the league's almost going to have to do something to address it besides the cap going up because there's teams that just can't do anything. They're screwed.
But they put themselves in that position.
Well,
Yeah, the one that I would say
fair.
that if you're the league, there's nothing you can do because these
You
teams
really didn't
don't
need to give Lucic that contract,
Well,
you know?
fair.
Like
That's on
Holland
the
didn't need
GMs.
to
Yeah.
sign
The flip
Campbell.
side, though, is also this wasn't as big of an issue pre-COVID because the cap went up every year.
Right.
Then COVID came
it's
and it's
gonna
been
start
flat for a
again.
long time. So now, like this first year, the cap's going to go up. The Oilers basically are going to get no cap relief from this because it's going to be Connor Brown's
Brown's
deal
bonus.
is basically is going to eat that up. But if it keeps going up every year, anywhere between 3 and 5 million. Then we're going to catch up again where there's going to be more teams who are going to have had the cap space, going to have that opening, and we'll be back to what it was pre-COVID. But COVID right away with the flat, like it was actually a little surprising to me that at no point did we get the compliance buyout during COVID while there was those CBA negotiations.
think the
Because
league
that
will
was
throw
being
out.
thrown out there where some teams maybe you get the one buyout completely
buyout.
off the books. And it would relieve some things. And I'm surprised that actually never came up because what would have that done for a bunch of teams if they could have went to one contract and said, we're just going to take you off the books. We'll pay you, but you're not part of the cap hit. And that just gives us a little more flexibility.
for sure.
That's what I think is coming. I think the league is going to
compliance thing?
have to do that, and where a team gets one every 3 years,
Or a luxury tax.
something like they got to do something to help out because it makes it like you're pinching out that middle end guy in the league.
That's right, yeah.
where,
There's no middle class.
There is no middle
You're
class
getting rid of the
anymore.
middle class.
Yeah.
It's your lower end or you're an
You make
elite.
$1 million or 10 million.
right.
Yeah.
Like I'm looking at he's a local guy, Jake DeBrusque.
Yeah.
$4 million guy.
Top line player.
Is he
Yeah.
really living up to that this year? What has he got? 25, 28
Oh,
points?
I think
Maybe
he's lived
not.
up to it. Yeah.
But where's he? I can't wait to see what happens with a guy like him because he's got all that skill, all that ability. Where's he gonna fall in terms of cap? Like those guys, he's probably gonna have to take a cut. I think if he wants to, maybe go to a great situation. It's just fascinating because the best are gonna get paid, and then you just got to load up your team with a bunch of $1 million guys, and those $3-4 million guys are
Find the rest of the best that are
Yeah.
willing to make that million and play
Yeah.
for your team, right?
Whoever's got the best scouting staff, pro scouting staff, to fill out those smaller contracts with the right guys.
The analytics to see who's going to fit into your team the best.
Well, and finding guys that are willing to take a team-friendly salary.
Well, and that for some teams, it's going to be very hard compared to other teams. You know, and the Oilers would be a team that would be harder to do that. I think with it'll be harder to find some of those veterans to come in for $1 million. Whereas a team like the Toronto Maple Leafs, we've seen Wayne Simmons going very cheap, Joe Thornton going very cheap. They want to go home or and go win. Whereas Edmonton, it's Edmonton. Like it just hasn't happened really that we've seen here fully.
And the tax situation, if you go play in Texas or you go play in Florida, you can play for less money and make more money in the end because of the tax situation on different states. So that's a massive win for some of those.
Well, it's
teams
like
as
they have an
right?
extra 20% cap space.
Yeah,
Almost,
exactly.
Ryan Lotsberg, Heavy Hockey Network, the Nasty Chat. Two things: Vegas is the only team with a guy making $10 million plus to have won a cup. Also saying the Sharks can only have one more retained salary contract. Already have two with Burns and Carlson. So thank you.
Attaboy,
for
Lotsy.
pointing that
That's
out
our
there.
Lotsy right there.
But that
knows
makes things
his
even better
shit.
for the Chicago Blackhawks. Or a team like them going, look, we can be a power broker a little bit with this. And like I don't know how much the talk will still be there, but a Bukestad back to the Oilers was a big thing. But there was, I can't remember if it was Puck Petey or Cap Friendly tweeted out that he can't be traded right back to the Oilers with retained salary.
Yeah.
The Coyotes cannot retain salary and trade him back to the Oilers because he was an Oiler as of June 30th last year, so it has to be a year.
Yeah.
But I didn't see, I think somebody responded with, does that include, though, if somebody else retains the money? And I didn't see an answer to that one.
I think it's the same rule, yeah. I do.
But it's...
Like you mean a third team in the trade kind of type thing?
If Arizona trades him retained to Chicago, and then Chicago trains him fully to Edmonton.
Oh, I understand.
There's your 3-team little power broker.
Right.
I don't recall seeing something like that, but that's where the Blackhawks in a team, they could sit there and go, like, if that is allowed, again, I don't 100% know. I'd have to look, but
Yeah, me too.
you go, okay, you want to know something, Oilers, you want Bukestad? Okay, we'll send this to Arizona to get it, but you owe us a nice little piece so that because we're retaining this cap so you can get Bukestad.
As much as I think and I've talked about it on the show with you guys before, is like Bukestad, yes, like, man, I wish we could have kept him here. But in Bukestad, that ship sailed. I mean, I get the point, though. A player like Bukestad is certainly
over
required
2
here.
years. We couldn't do that. We could.
Yeah. Which
We
is,
could if we didn't get Brown.
yeah, exactly. Oops.
Actually, we still can because we're paying $1 million
Well,
or
but
$2
Brown
million out
was
of
only
Brown's next year.
750,000 this year, though.
Yeah, exactly. Even if we get him back, he's got another year on his contract. So
Right, but he's not coming back here. That's not going to happen. But they need a Bukestad-like player.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah,
And I mean, they got Corey Perry. Corey Perry is brilliant in my opinion, but now we need one more like that.
I'd
would
love to
be
see another
really
defenseman
helpful.
somehow. I don't know how we pull it off, that Ekholm type trade again somehow, if we can do it.
I don't even know if for me it has to be the Ekholm. I'd be comfortable with just a solid, steady third pairing defense.
Ekholm type trade, not player.
Okay,
yeah, I agree. No, you're not finding another Ekholm.
Solid guy that could go out and give you a good 12 minutes a night, 13 minutes a night, steady. That if the Oilers have some sort of injury, that's a guy that's going. Or if it's Philip Broberg that goes in, he's there ready to go if you need to. Or like I don't know how you fully make it work. Depth on defense to me is going to be the most crucial thing I think you could have, and that's where I would go to ahead of goaltending even. And because even just goaltending, I know Pickett's getting a lot of heat for Friday's game against the Wilds.
How did the team play in front of him?
Well, it's also like, again, who's better out there? And if in the end Skinner isn't the guy, it's likely either because he's played very poorly in the playoffs, which could be because of the team in front of him, or he got hurt. And at that point, I think you might already be in trouble as a team. Is there that goalie that you feel comfortable with right now that you can go get that's going to replace Skinner then in that situation that's going to lead this team to a
I
cup?
don't think it's worth an asset to do it. Like, I mean, Michael and I have this argument on Oilers Live all the time, and my opinion is this. I'd say there's 3 goalies in the world that are elite. There's probably 8 to 10 goalies in the world that are really, really, really good.
How many do you have as elite?
3.
Yeah.
After the top 10, maybe this is an arbitrary number, but you'll get it with the theory of this. After the top 10, I honestly feel like the 11th to the 150th best goalie in the world is the same.
When it changes so quickly.
You
move that rank. You can move in that ranking so quickly as a goalie.
The greatest goalie in the NHL before he went to Boston, and they had a
great defense.
NHL record-setting season. Would Swayman really look that good if it wasn't?
Yeah.
When we were playing like crap, everybody wanted to trade Skinner and Campbell and get rid of him. All of a sudden, Skinner's the goalie of the month, and all because our team played better in front of him. I would never waste an asset to upgrade on Pickard because I think he's from 11 to 150. And if you're in that range, just play properly in front of him and you'll be fine.
But now, I guess the other question of this then will be is how comfortable are you guys and Oiler fans just in general with the idea that if something happens to Skinner, it's Jack Campbell? The tweet just came out.
That just took off on social media a little bit.
I brought that up, and Tommy just had no time for that comment. But I just have a feeling that the Oilers organization does look, and especially if they don't get a goaltending, they look at a guy who's now playing well in Bakersfield by all accounts.
Sure.
I'm not going to say he is or isn't like based on, I'm not watching Bakersfield, but by all accounts, playing a lot better.
He's been excellent. Yeah.
If something happens to Skinner, and I'm just going knock on wood injury wise, it's not Cal Pickard. It's Jack Campbell.
Is it?
I think so.
I think it's whoever's
combination.
Whoever's
that's the pairing.
Give them both a start, and the third start is whoever played better, and then run with who's hot. I don't think it matters after that. They're both in the 11 to 150 range, Maddie. So
I'll say that
whoever's hot.
I'll switch that and go like if it's playoffs. I think Jack Campbell gets the first start.
Sure. Yeah. Sure. We'll give him the first shot at it.
But here's the thing. If
he gets a shutout, good. Give him another one.
If he wins, it's gonna be his net.
Good.
If
it's gonna stay his net for a while.
In that chair
he wouldn't have any time for
this.
this.
He would be screaming and yelling.
Thank God he's at the rink right now because he's not listening then or watching because he'd be very upset with me. Yeah, he'd be very upset with me right now. He's got to get watch the ice. So talking to all the media guys down there and their Stoff and all them. So he's not paying attention to what I have to say. But I wonder if the Oilers do actually honestly look at Jack Campbell and just go, we've got an NHL goaltender sitting in the American Hockey League right now. This is in their mind, I'm saying, speaking.
Yep.
And going, okay, let's go look at defense because are we really going to get a really strong backup that we believe is going to win us a cup? No, it's not going to be there. We've got Jack Campbell. We can use Jack Campbell.
11 to 150.
Yeah.
Throw them in. It doesn't matter. Put a better defense core in front of them, and they'll play better hockey.
And
which
as
is
you
why
were
I agree
just
with
saying,
Maddie,
though,
the
that
defenseman.
D-core and the team in front of Stuart Skinner played a lot better for a big period of time. Stuart Skinner wins goalie of the player of the month, goalie of the month,
player of the month,
and I mean, so they have the people here that can do it. So I agree. That Campbell sitting there, goaltending is probably solved.
Well, I wouldn't say solved,
it's
but
good enough.
It's what they're going to do.
not worth
With
wasting
where the
assets to
Oilers are
improve.
at right now, asset-wise and cap-wise, it doesn't jump to the top.
I view that they also probably think fairly similar on Broberg with that because he's percolated in the minors and is playing a lot better there. I can see them going out and getting another defenseman that's maybe going to cost them a fifth-round draft pick to get a guy that can come in and play that 12, 13, 14
The Mike
minutes
Green pre-COVID.
Well, the name I keep coming to and talking Blackhawks is Jacob Megna. I can see it being Jacob Megna as soon as Connor Brown and Zaitsev get back.
Connor Murphy.
Connor Murphy and Zaitsev.
Unless you guys
come
want to
back.
trade for Connor Brown, I think the Oilers
You're
would
welcome
love
to
to
Connor
trade for
Brown,
that deal right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And give up the cap penalty for next year.
Yeah, which would stay with the Oilers.
It stays with the Oilers no matter what, yeah.
Isn't there a way to get rid of it?
The only way to get rid of it is if they have the cap space this year. So they need to create cap space at the trade deadline, and then they can swallow it this year. That's the only way.
Which I don't think they're doing because they're all in.
Because they're trying to win, for sure. Yeah. So I view them trying to get a Jacob Megna. They have Broberg. So there's 8-ish defensemen. I think they're going to try and upgrade up front. That's where I think.
I agree with you, and I think they will. I'm just still with Maddie that I think it should be on D. I would love to see, I don't know.
That's all we're hearing. Like we're hearing Jake Gensel's name. We've heard Jordan Eberle's name thrown out there. Like it's the forwards that we're hearing. Yeah. I go to the old adage of what what wins in playoffs? Defense wins you championships.
It's a copycat league,
That's right.
and the Vegas Knights just beat us with 4 lines, and I think that's where a lot of fans
But
and
they
people's
also,
heads are at.
what kind of defensive core do they have?
Yeah, just fine. I mean, and
They have a really good defense, I
Yeah.
would say, and it's
Yeah.
like that's where it's just like I'd rather just solidify my blue line back as best as I can if I'm Ken Holland, as opposed to going, well, we need another top 6. The skill.
Do they really even need another top 6? Or do they
I
just
would
need
focus more on the bottom 6.
Yeah.
well, but if you get a top 6 guy, then you push somebody into the bottom 6.
Right.
So that's part of it as well. But
that just greater depth, absolutely. Like,
Yeah.
where a guy like Corey Perry can go up and down the lineup, he can play on the top line, he can play on the fourth line, he can go wherever you need him and be very effective. So,
Like a Gensel trade to me feels like that's the only move you can make if you're the Oilers. I don't think you can pull off another move at the deadline, just cap wise.
you're saying
If
if they
that's
got
the move,
Gensel,
if,
then that's it.
If it's Gensel for what was rumored, I think it was NHL Network that threw it out there.
Yeah,
it was Warren Fogle, as you said,
A pick and a
some
prospect,
picks and stuff. I don't think you
like
could.
that.
I don't think there's more that the Oilers could do at a deadline. That's where I'd rather go get a bottom 6 player, not a top 6 player, bottom 6, because the assets and cap could probably work. Where then I could, if I'm Ken Holland, I could go make another move in the defense, and I could go make 2 trades.
Yeah.
That just overall fill the depth of this
Yeah.
team out, as opposed to I'm just gonna go get the splashy move.
yeah. And that's where
And
I'd
that-
rather see it. That's where I'd
Right?
rather see it. Go get like there's a Jacob
And that's the difference
Megna
between the
type of
bottom
defense
6 and the top 6, I
Go
think.
find another Corey Perry type forward.
Right.
And I think you're not giving up too many assets. You're getting better depth.
I don't know if there's more of a Perry type forward out there, and maybe not skill wise, but like is where he's at in his career is Maroon.
Yeah.
And Matty and I have been joking around about
I like
couldn't that ex-Oiler over there in Minnesota, couldn't Billy give us a little bit of a favor?
Yeah.
And
I like
and
it.
maybe that other GM in San Jose that used to be an Oiler, maybe he could swallow a little bit for us,
Yeah.
the old Oilers crew kind of do us, because I would love somehow in my dream world to have Maroon, Marc-Andre Fleury, and like a Jake Middleton. Or somebody like that.
It's this massive move.
Well, we did it last year.
Bring all these players
We did
in.
it last
Well, they're
year.
bringing all these players in.
So I don't know.
Did I not
you know?
read that Fleury's saying that he's interested in getting moved? So
I mean, he wasn't interested in coming to Edmonton last year, but that doesn't
No,
mean he
he
isn't
wasn't.
interested in a cup run somewhere. And maybe his mind could change, but I don't know. It doesn't even have to be those 3. Petrie and Kulak we could reunite if Holland and Yzerman want to pull another deal. Or, there's
just trying
there's
to-
some guys out there.
trying to think, what's Fleury's salary? Fleury and Maroon.
Maroon's pretty much league minimum. Middleton, I think, was or like a Faber. And I don't think they'd want to trade Faber though.
No, they're not trading favor.
But I think it was $1.5 million. Yeah, and then Fleury's the hard part in there.
Yeah.
But I just think of that. Who else would you want in the
is
flower?
3.5.
Okay.
Middleton's 2.45. He's got another year on left. Why don't I see?
Yeah, I like
Maroon's on
trades like
IR
that.
right now. But it is 800,000 is his contract.
So you could flip Fleury to Chicago and then Chicago to here and so that you could get him down 75% is eaten if Minnesota really wants to play ball. Increases the asset cost, but yeah, it could happen.
It would cost us an arm and a leg, but if we're going to throw an arm and a leg out there, I'd rather
That's
do
not
that.
costing
than-
you an arm and a leg.
Well, not
Fleury
like Getzel would, but
yeah. I
having
don't
someone
think-
eat that cap space would probably cost, unless
The
like I
cap
said,
space, and that's where you
Cap's
could
third-round
demand.
pick. Third round pick to
I don't know if you're the Blackhawks, you could demand quite a bit.
Wow.
What did this is
Marleau.
this is a few, but
Marleau,
Marleau was a
first-round
first round pick for Toronto to send him to Carolina. That was a first.
it was 4 or 5 million they were eating, right?
yeah.
Like you could, especially
was
as
it
the
4 or 5 million for just 1 year though.
like it's one of those where as that clock's ticking close to 3 Eastern, 1 Mountain. You could sit there as the Blackhawks and you could play hard, but because worst case is let's say it's you're saying third. You can sit there like, dude, we don't really need a third. We're demanding a second, and we don't need this. We are staying firm on this, and if this trade doesn't happen, we're cool.
Somebody
And
wants
so
to
here's,
Have fun.
here's
Find
the
someone
other
else to
little
broker this for you.
tidbit
We don't
when
need
it
it.
comes with the Blackhawks because we've had so many picks because we got rid of all of our
Yeah.
talented players and got so many picks. So if you go back 2 years ago, we had 3 first-round picks, and I believe it was 2 second-round picks. And last year we had 2 first-round picks and 3 second-round picks. This year we have 2 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks, and then next year we have 2 first-round picks and 3 second-round picks. They don't want any more picks now. If you're like, and that's where the price I could. Well,
One,
but
two,
they can
three,
only have
four,
so many
five,
guys come
six,
up because you only
sure,
have so many contracts.
You take your 2/3 and a second
8
and
picks
turn
this
it
year.
into
and they're going to start doing that.
And
I
that's-
think.
8 picks this year.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3,
So
4,
what
5,
you're
6,
going to
7,
see
8, 9 next
where
year.
the Blackhawks might even say to a team and get more out of, hey, if the price is a second round pick, yeah, but we want a first round pick, but we don't want it for 3 years or 4 years out because they got to spread these picks out.
Or Chicago
the other
throws
value-
in a couple of thirds because they have so many, and then you turn it into a 2026 first. or
Well, that's the
something.
thing.
I can.
That's where if you're the Blackhawks, you could also add a second or a third. Because
and
like
get more,
this
yeah.
year you got 3 seconds, 2 thirds. The year after 2 seconds and a third. Although there's a condition on that third, I don't know what the condition is. You add another second. That's one of those things on draft day. You could sit there and be like, "I'll give you all of our second round picks to jump up in the first round."
Right,
And that's where, but you want the draft capital to be there to go
Right,
do
so
that.
they can do that.
But that's also just where I go with if you're the Blackhawks. You could demand almost what you want, and it's not important because if you missed out on a third, so be it. Like that's the thing. If you said like whatever they deem as this is what we value our cap space as, and. Those teams, Eric Stewart in the Nasty Chat saying the losing streaks or the losing by the Oilers isn't doing Kenny Boy any favors on the trade market, in my opinion, because there's more pressure now on the Oilers, and as that clock clicks closer to 1, Ken Holland's trying to win a cup this year. Davidson's just going, well, we're hoping to get first.
Yeah, another first. Oh.
Paul saying Gensel and Tanev in the Nasty Chat.
No, you're not getting both.
I will stand by this.
I'd rather have Tanev than Getzel, I'll tell you that.
I would be stunned if the Calgary Flames trade Tanev to the Edmonton Oilers. And the reason I say that is I think the Edmonton Oilers could have the best package by far to the the Flames.
Why is that?
And they're going to.
Well, they could, but there is no way
I see.
Craig Conroy can
Hypothetically,
make
if they
that
had-
trade.
Yeah.
I just
What if it's a 3-way?
it doesn't matter. If you're Craig Conroy, when the Oilers are trying to win a cup now, and the missing piece might be Chris Tanev, I don't think you can go to your fan base and saying we're helping our arch rival win a cup this year.
What does Conroy look like in Calgary when the Oilers are in the parade?
Yeah.
If the Oilers have a won a Stanley Cup because of Chris Tanev, Craig Conroy is going to have a tough time. But like, look at these assets we got, Calgary. Look at what we got here.
We've got Bo Akey.
I would be quite stunned if Craig Conroy actually would ever take any deal of the Oilers and right now wasn't just using them to try hey, there's another playing
Drive up the
partner.
price.
We could drive up the price. But no matter what, we'll never accept that trade because he can't go to his fan base and say, we're helping the Edmonton Oilers win a Stanley Cup.
Yeah. Oh, ouch.
Rutherford will probably get Tanev too.
Okay, so if you look at that and hypothetically say the Gunsel is Fogle the first and Bo Akey, then Tanev is what? Is Broberg and what? Because it's
We got Borgo still.
I don't know.
Just trying to think.
Borgo, Petrov.
You've got
Broberg
first
enough?
next year.
No.
You've got I think Tanev first was the price for Tanev a little bit. No one's jumped up fully into that, if what I remember reading.
But then, how does that fit into salary cap? Because there's got to be some retention there,
Exactly.
which the assets then become more than that.
Yeah.
And I just keep looking at the Oilers prospect pool and right now, and I'm shaking my head at how terrible it is. And now if you're getting rid of Broberg, you're getting rid of Akey. Now you have 0 defensemen in your system that are ever going to play on the team in
No first from last year, no Reed Schaefer.
Yeah.
There's
If we don't win a cup, we'll be looking down the barrel of another decade of decadence, of darkness.
and you're going to need some ping pong balls going your way because they're going to be right at the bottom of the standings. And then
As
you
long
look
as you have
at
Connor and Leon, you're good.
well, but that's
Will
the
they
thing.
have?
Yes, they'll stay.
Yeah.
they will stay.
Well,
Here's
I
why
hope so.
they will stay
They
as
will
long as
stay.
the Oilers are competitive and making the playoffs.
Well, they've got this
they
year to
won't-
figure it
they-
out because Dreisaitl's a free agent next year.
Right, but they're a playoff team. Where are you going to go that's going to be necessarily better? One, they're going to.
I think it's more
they want to
important.
play together.
That's
Almost, it
right. I was
looks
just going
like.
to say
think
that. I think
they
it's more
do?
important for
It
Draisaitl.
does. If
Where's Draisaitl going to go that he can play with a McDavid?
Well, and that's the thing.
Don't say Chicago.
We got
the
the
only
cap-
shot.
We got the cap space for
But
it.
the problem is they're not there right away. Like, what team
They
that
will
is...
be in 2 years.
That's what they say
Yeah,
about the
we
Oilers.
said
But the
that
Oilers are
about
right there
McDavid.
right now, too. So, like, do you really want to take that step back to go 2 years back to go to Chicago? So then you look at the other teams. Okay, well, yeah, Boston would be great. But how's Boston going to fit that on the cap?
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's... I unless the Oilers... Like, the risk I had... I for the first time... watching this Oilers team with McDavid and Leon, I was worried about the potential of them staying was at the start of this season. Because I was going like, this team might miss the playoffs. And that then sets off the motion to me of these boys going, this isn't going to work.
Right.
But as long as you're a playoff team, as long as you're competitive in the West, you're not going to be able to pair up together anywhere else. And where else are you going to fully go? That's going to be like, I guess, yeah, you could sit there and go, the Rangers will make the moves that are necessary to trade off to bring in Leon. But
Yeah.
there's also no guarantee of a Stanley Cup.
No.
There's never been a guarantee of ever going anywhere and getting the Stanley Cup. And, it took Ovi how long to win with Washington then. As long as the Oilers sit in a playoff spot, make the playoffs, and are in the playoffs, I think those guys sign. But this summer is very important because at some point between July 1st and the start of training camp, it's got to get done.
Yep.
You
And if
can't
it
go into
doesn't,
the season next year without him
absolutely
signed.
not.
But we'll have that big press conference. I'm 90% confident. We'll have a press conference in July or August with Leon signing, and then that's just going to signal to everyone McDavid will resign.
Yep.
Well, I don't think McDavid's going to go anywhere for sure. But and that's why I asked you, are you sure they want to play together? Because if the Oilers really want to restock the cupboards and get some, I mean, go for it all in this year, but you would get a massive haul for Leon Draisaitl this summer.
Sure, but the Penguins, they won early with Crosby and Malkin, and then they didn't win for a long stretch. And there was times where people thought, now Malkin will leave, and they kept them together, and they ended up going to win their cups again.
And if you look at the roster that's been around them, I mean, you look at the forward line of the Pittsburgh Penguins for the last 5, 6, 7 years, and you're just like, who are these guys? And that's what the Oilers are going to be. It's going to be Leon, Connor, and
Darnell Nurse, and
who are
then
these
the rest.
guys? Yeah.
And chemistry, like Kunitz and Brian Rust, and those guys are chemistry, right? They fit well with Sid. They fit well with, even I'm forgetting the name. All right, move on. I'll find that in my brain. Sorry.
This is the EST Hangout presented by White Claw. There's always someone looking to ride the next wave. They're here for the ones who make their own White Claw. The difference is clear. Matt Iwanyk, Murray McCourt from the Ranch Golf and Country Club, as well as the VIP Golf Show. April 28th, returning for the next season. What was it again?
Six.
That's it?
Yeah.
6.
Wow.
It's
Feels
back.
like it's been forever.
Today doesn't feel very like we're
It's
close
fun,
to.
though. I love it. Yeah.
Today doesn't feel like we're close to golf season, but that will melt
That's
quick
okay,
once
yeah.
the weather does come up, and we need the moisture.
We needed this
moisture.
moisture.
Dash with us as well from Heavy Hockey Network. You remembered what you wanted to say?
Yeah,
So we're live on
do.
iHeartRadio as well as TuneIn, and for those watching on YouTube and EdmontonSportsTalk.com listening to us, we appreciate it.
I thought of Phil Kessel and just coming in as a temporary with Malkin and the chemistry they had, even though they fought like cats and dogs on the bench, their chemistry on the ice was pretty good. But
What happened to Phil? He went to Vancouver and they had a little
Had a chat with them.
but nothing came.
He
of
did a
that.
conditioning stint with is it Abbotsford? But he did a conditioning, and by all accounts, he was very gassed. So, I think if he's going to play, a lot more conditioning is going to be required.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a healthy scratch last year in the playoffs. I mean, he didn't play all year this year. It's going to be tough to consider him too much of a value.
Yeah. Phil Kessel's conditioning has never been a strong suit. So
It's true. It's true. Although, you know what? Give the guy some credit because he doesn't get hurt.
No, and produces.
And produces.
yeah,
produced.
he did.
There is the knocks on the conditioning, and Steve Simmons with the piece about the hot dogs. But the guy went in cups, and he produced. He always just went out and
And I'll tell you
produced.
what, he should have been the Conn Smythe winner that year. I thought Kessel deserved the Conn Smythe for Pittsburgh that year. They gave it to Sid, but I think that was a bit of a
Because he's
Sid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sid. So
Sid,
give it to him.
A few texts that I've missed. 780-218-9999 Paris Jewelers inbox. Cozy. The D-man they need is Bogosian, and then they could add in Scott Lawton and Henrique. Brandon from Windsor, no way you can have two slow players like Perry and Maroon on the same team. One, sure, but not two. Rip City Steph agreeing. Crosby stole the Smythe from Kessel.
Thank you.
And then also somebody sending us a YouTube video that I'll have to click. I don't know what that one is.
You don't know what that
so
is.
that one is right off the just
Probably
looking at
Kessel
that.
eating
So
a hot
go back
dog.
to that one about. Okay, so Scott Lawton again is a first round pick that Philly's asking for.
And Henrique.
Okay, I
And-
don't mind that.
I'd love Henry.
Yeah.
I do got to go find
McTavish loves Henry. He's talked about it nonstop on Stauffer's show.
friend of EST, Bob Stauffer, who will
No longer
actually,
a future guest.
No longer a future guest, but
Past guest.
The Hangout is always open to Bob Stauffer, and as I was telling Marie today, if Bob ever comes on the Hangout, I will not talk a single second of the Oilers with him. 1 hour will be spent on Alabama
Bama.
and SEC football, and then the second hour will be University of Alberta Golden Bears / Pandas.
Which,
Straight up.
by the way,
Two.
the U of A Golden Bears are not
Lost.
going to a national championship. Is that not the first? When was the last time they were not in a national championship?
They weren't going. They didn't qualify potentially. I could be wrong. In 2020, then the pandemic hit.
Okay.
I think they might not have made it that year as well. But yeah, losing to UBC, they won game 1, and then lose games 2 and 3 to UBC and being knocked out.
4-0 yesterday.
I didn't see the final.
Yeah.
But yeah, UBC going
must
to
be
be
good,
out.
but that's does not happen often that U of A Golden Bears are not playing for a national championship.
No, it's very rare.
Yeah.
It's just it's hard to stomach in a sense. Also with the U of A, Pandas are hosting nationals next week for basketball. Scott Edwards, their head coach, will join us on Friday or Wednesday here on the Hangout. The reason Bob Stauffer came up, he's going to be at an event which is taking place this Thursday for a good cause. 32nd annual face-off with CF Gal in support of Cystic Fibrosis Canada. Ryan Nugent Hopkins and his wife. It's their 8th year as honorary chairs. Gene Principe, I was told, is actually also emceeing this. This is Thursday. Chateau Lacombe. If you would like more details at cfgala.ca. They've been it's been 3 years that they haven't been able to do this, so they're doing it, bringing it back. 32nd annual face-off with CF Gala. There'll be a hot stove with some players, as there'll be members of the Oilers and alum there as well, and a chance to see Bob Stauffer, who also I suck at picking on Twitter. He had a picture with Bob from this weekend, but I got to meet him. I suck at picking visually better on Twitter this week, and it was so awesome just to meet him.
I was standing beside you when that happened. You were legitimately starstruck for a minute, which
I am
was
starstruck.
kind of
I
odd because
love
everybody
him.
in that place was looking at you.
No, well, and I felt bad too because like as soon as I walked in, I was like just immediately trying to like gather myself. Like I'm just walking in. I got my ticket. I'm trying to see how to like where I go with that. And he looks at me. He's like, you don't know me, but I know who you are. And I was like, oh. and then
here we go.
But it was like I suck at picking, and I was just really rattled at that moment because of like I didn't know
You
where
just
my
walked
bearings
in,
was.
it was-
And then
yeah,
Michael's like, I don't need to see your ticket, and I'm trying to like figure out a bunch of things at once. And I feel like my first impression with him was absolutely terrible, like the worst. But then after he came up and we chatted, and we had a great chat with him after. So I hopefully smoothed that over because I was like, I love everything he does on Twitter. So
me too.
To finally meet him and put a face to
It's always
the
been
account,
a big heavy hockey supporter.
It was amazing, and him coming up from Okotoks for that. So
Last year,
hopefully,
too, every year, he comes up every year for this.
hopefully driving
Every
back
year.
home yesterday was all good for him. But
Yeah, good point. Yeah,
it was great meeting him, and if he's watching, very sorry for the weirdness at the start. But yeah, just trying to figure out what's going on at that moment.
Yeah,
So
I was going to ask if you wanted a
wasn't-
picture with him in the back of his head, but
See, you mentioned that. And I didn't know if he does that photo.
Yeah,
so
he'll
I meant
he'll
to.
post the
next
photos,
time,
but
next
it's the
year I'll
back
have
of
to get a
his
photo
head,
of him
or-
because
yeah.
I am a huge fan of his on Twitter. So you're not on Twitter, or no, you
I'm
are
on
on Twitter. I
Twitter.
shouldn't say that, but like I don't know if you would follow him or anything on Twitter.
Visually better.
Yeah, he's known a lot for posting great photoshops.
Oh, really?
And then great
incredible
Oiler
Photoshops.
takes. But then he's also gone into
political
the politics
sometimes, yeah.
with some of that stuff.
he's rarely wrong in my opinion.
Really?
But yeah, he got
visually
it.
better. I'll have to throw that follow up
At
there.
I suck
I
at
suck at
picking,
picking.
and he has a great photo of Bob Stauffer from this weekend. So
I believe he was at Soho.
Is there a good
think Bob
picture
came to
of
Soho.
Bob Stauffer?
no, I don't think it was at Soho.
Did he leave to go and meet Bob somewhere
Yeah,
else?
because
Gotcha.
I won't say where
No,
because I don't
that's
want to
fine.
spoil things for Bob.
Yes, that's
but I
fine.
know of a place that Bob likes
Yeah,
to
okay, that
occasionally
place.
attend
Yeah,
following games with a few people.
Gotcha.
Is there a good picture of Bob Stauffer out there? I mean, his eyes are always looking closed. His hair is always disheveled. Like, oh,
As
he's
a now
hilarious.
friend of EST, I wish not to comment on our friend Bob Stauffer, who actually, if I see at the game tonight, I know I could. My favorite thing whenever I see Bob at Rexall or Rogers, I always just say something about the Golden Bears. And then he'll tee off on good or bad, something with Golden Bears. It's great. So tonight, if I go and I see Bob, I'm like, that hockey team, and then he'll go off on that.
Yeah, he's funny, no question.
This is the EST Hangout presented by White Claw Hearts. Elter Matt Iwanyk, Murray McCourt, Dash with you here. Oilers Oil Stream pregame show at 7:30 tonight as the Kings are in town, which means Tommy will be on the air at 7 o'clock with the Oil Stream pregame show, postgame show to follow. He'll also be on at noon with Dusty for the Oil Stream. He's at practice right now, so he'll update everything that's happening at the morning skate. And coming up in just under 20 minutes, he'll be the Lock Shop with Dusty and Huss. As the look back at the weekend, look ahead to tonight's action. I'm sure Huss will have a take on the Scotties. As that wrapped up yesterday, congratulations to Jennifer Jones.
Yeah.
An amazing career.
No kidding, eh?
Spectacular, yeah.
Almost got it done. Almost got it done in her last Scotties. But then credit to now local Rachel Homan.
Rachel, yeah.
And
She's
her
been
rink for
so
winning. She
good
lives
all
in the
year.
area.
She earned it, yeah.
She's Ontario and stuff, but she's also ours. I'm claiming it as
She's
Edmonton.
She's
But
living in Edmonton
for
a while now.
great week.
She's good, yeah.
She earned it.
She was unbelievable. She was just a beast on that ice. And what was it? The game on Saturday between Homan and Jones. Jones with just a couple late incredible shots, and Homan just matching them and one up in almost.
Step for
and
step.
just she was great. Also, quick to the Alberta rink, Sturmey. She had a great week. Just playoffs came and it wasn't there, and on Saturday afternoon had a little bit of rough time. But first Scotties for them. They'll be back, and Alberta should have a nice showing, I think, moving forward with her representing Alberta a few times.
I think that was such a surprise. Everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, Alberta's 6-0. What's this with this?" And reality set in a little bit. I mean, she was playing over her head there early in the week, and reality set in. But what an experience for her to do that, and she can draw on that in the future. And spectacular for sure.
Yeah.
And now it's Briar
On the up
coming
and up.
Now it's
Yeah,
Briar.
and
Friday.
the Briar's coming.
Friday,
Yeah.
I think it's in Regina.
Is it this year?
I think both are in the West, which is
Yeah, it's in
great.
Regina,
Wow.
It's usually one West, one
Yeah,
East.
that's what- yeah,
and I
that's
don't
why I
like
was
the
surprised.
East one as much because I like that 6:30, 7 o'clock night draw. And I finish my night watching just a match of curling. And if it's a 6:30 draw, well, that's, what would that be? 4:30.
Yeah.
Really, because it'd be 6:30 out there, 4:30 here. And it's like, it's
Still wrapping
8
up my
o'clock
day.
rolls around or whatever, and you want to watch something later at night, and it's like, wow, there's no more curling. It is much better, though, because during the day they're on.
Yeah.
A little earlier. When I wake up, I could throw it on and watch.
Yeah, that's true.
But we get Regina. And
Kark and the boys are driving out, so it's
Are
not
they?
that close. But with the Scotties, I think everyone knew Rachel was going to win going into the week. I thought so, anyways. I mean, people were pulling for Jennifer her last Scotties and whatnot. But you look forward to the Briar. There is no clear-cut favorite right now on who's going.
I don't think so.
There's 5 or 6 teams that could win this.
Well, see if Colbert has the odds up yet. The thing I'll say about Rachel Homan is, one, you never know with Carrie Anerson and Team Canada. They've just been so good for so long.
Whole drama and controversy.
Yeah, that's still. Don't even know what happened there.
No.
But also, Homan has gotten pretty close the last few years and hasn't been able to get it done. And I think that even though she's won prior, she had her 3. There was a question of she's gone to Olympics, hasn't been able to get it done there. Is she going to be able to close?
So in
and this
2024
weekend, she finally closed.
2024, she's been the best woman curler
Yep.
in the world, hands down.
I think they've lost, if I recall on the
nothing.
broadcast, only like 4 games this year.
They've been killing everybody.
Like,
They're
it's
the
been
best team in
unbelievable.
the world,
Yeah, that's dominance.
easily. I mean, and yes, Einerson was 4 in a row or whatever, but this year, Rachel Homan is just better.
So Coolbet has the odds out.
I can't want to hear this.
Team Canada is the odds-on favorite at plus 150, so that's Brad Gushu's rink. Team Botcher from Alberta is plus 185, so they're second best. Third is from Manitoba, Dunstone,
Yeah.
at 330. Then it's Kevin Cooey's team from Alberta, plus 585. Then Saskatchewan, who I think is Mike McEwen. I think. I could be wrong. Ontario, Manitoba with Caruso, Alberta, Slaczynski, BC, Quebec, New Brunswick, and so forth. Based on the way I look at this, they think it's either going to be Canada or Botcher winning it, with Dunstone, Cooey as that's a clear top 4.
So Dunstone hasn't actually had a very great year. He was way better last year than he was this year. So
well, it'd be also intriguing what he gets for reception. Because this is a guy that's from Winnipeg, but I think he grew up in BC or did some stuff in BC, then represented Saskatchewan a few times at the Brier, and now is representing Manitoba again at the Brier, but it's being taken place in Saskatchewan. So does that crowd give him a very gracious response, or are they going to be a little on him at times, if you will, as much as curling could get on?
Yeah, it's just going to be much. The end of the week is going to be very, very, very fascinating to see how that plays itself out. Because especially
you also have that team usually that sometimes comes up that no one's expecting. That
like Sturmey did for
the women.
For the women, and Slaczynski, man, if he plays like he did in
the playdowns,
in the playdowns. Whew, he was on fire. So I don't know. I still think it'll come from Gushu, Botcher, or Cooey. I think those are the 3 that I'm gonna say it comes from. But not like I'm throwing out any hardcore names. No. But those are the 3 I'm expecting to see one of them hoisted. But
as long as it's Alberta, I'm happy. In the end.
Yeah, 2 of the 3 of those are Alberta, and I think Slaczynski could make some noise too, just like Sturmey did.
Yeah, right. Oh yeah,
that'd be good.
It's always Team Alberta for me, no matter
You're a
what.
curler guy?
Absolutely.
You like
I followed it. My dad loved it growing up. I watched a ton of it. I wouldn't say it's in my top 5 of favorite sports, but I do love watching it on TV. And when I see it, I'll absolutely catch it. I used to be a Labatt rep in Saskatchewan back in the day, so we sponsored a bunch
Labatt
of
Briars.
Yeah. Yeah, so big part of it for sure. I'm not naive. I'm just a little bit behind on a little, who's competitive and who's in whose rink and that sort of thing. But I do.
But that's also makes
it's such a Canadian and Albertan.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Scotties and the Brier are 2 great weeks because the Super Bowl's over. We're done.
Yeah.
So it's like you get these 2 weeks where you don't have to know what's been going on in the Grand Slams. You just throw on. You just watch some good curling. That's all. You just for a week. 2 to 3 draws a day. You just throw it on, and it's just great background entertainment for if you need to, or you could really fall, in and watch, and then you just watch that last weekend, and you really get it going. And I don't know. It's also then just Eric and I talk about it. It's kind of like the start of spring.
Oh,
this is the beginning. This is you get through the Scotties, you then get to the Brier, then all of a sudden, spring training is going now. We're going to have March Madness going. And then before you know it, it's going to be the Masters and opening day in baseball. And then also we're going to hear the ranch is opening up. And you're like, it springs here.
The ranch might open up before all of those.
It could. It has.
We need some more snow.
We need March to come with some 8 to 10 degree days for a good week.
Not very many of them. But
that's what.
Although this snow,
I think this will go quick.
Sure it will, yeah.
That Briar Patch is a hell of a time, too. Let me tell you that for free.
They know how to party.
It's like the Grey Cup parties, right? It's so authentically Canadian.
Yeah.
And like when you go to a place like a Grey Cup party, you don't meet a-holes. Yeah, everybody's having a great time. Everybody's like full of pride, and that's what I love.
And I don't know when
it.
the Oilers will, or not the Oilers. Well, I guess it is the Oilers, but Edmonton hosts another big curling event. It's been a long time since we've hosted one. You need to shut down for a week if you're going to use the big facility. I think what changed that the whole new rink going in Sherwood Park, them building that, maybe that brings the Scotties out there.
What about
because
that,
Calgary was like, it was using the Olympic Park.
That new rink in, is it Nisku?
The Silent Ice Center.
Silent Ice Center. Could that host?
I don't know how many seats it would have, potentially.
Yeah.
But I think like when the Sherwood Park one, Terry Jones tweeted about that one, which it does make sense. That
an $88 million arena that was approved. So it's,
and if that gets done, then maybe that's like a Scotties or something. But like it's been a while since Edmonton hosted. I think it would have been a Worlds.
I can't even remember, to be honest.
The one reason I remember, I think it was the Worlds 17. The reason I remember is because Ed Hervey got fired, and JMO and Low Tide were supposed to broadcast from the World Curling Championships.
Oh, there you go.
And it was one, and I'm just trying to remember exactly when Ed got fired, but it was that day they were there live, and we're having to deal with Ed being fired, and everyone going, why is this team firing Ed Hervey? Like, it made no sense.
Yeah.
And then prior to that would have been like 13 or something.
Well,
But yeah,
they did just announce World Juniors coming back to Alberta.
2027.
Yeah,
They said Alberta too.
Yeah, so-
which I don't know if that's Edmonton Red Deer or Edmonton Calgary.
Yeah, so hopefully we get some games in that because that's always great to host too.
Do you not feel a little fatigue from it? Or do you think
Well,
by 2027 it's going
That's
to be
right, because we did have it
3 times?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I definitely felt fatigued this year. There was no doubt.
Do you
This
think
is
there would
like
be-
the least I watched the World Juniors was this year. Yeah.
well, because Canada also wasn't
Yeah,
our best
maybe that was
entry.
part of it. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're like the 4th best team. Yeah, good point. That might have been part of it for sure.
Like if Canada's in the gold medal game, there's not too many people that aren't watching it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
If the Americans or the Canadians aren't in it, then
I would hope that there'd be a little more excitement in the city, but like 3 years, is that going to be enough for people to be like,
drive
yes,
it up
I'm
again.
ready to drop money down. And I'll be
depends
intrigued
on-
by the ticket pricing at that time too.
Depends on the names. I still think, if we have some big names and it's a team that is like, oh my gosh, look at this guy and this guy and this guy's playing, whoever they're going to be. And
Yeah, we won't know now,
3
but
years,
yeah.
we're
'Cause they're
gonna find
13
out.
right now.
Yeah, exactly. Isn't that something?
Yeah.
13-year-olds lighting her up in Pee Wee hockey are going
Yeah.
to be the top junior players in the country.
Yeah.
But I got to admit, though, I liked the gold medal game this year because there was 4 Blackhawk prospects on that Team USA team.
And one team, there was only 2 teams. I think the NHL didn't have a single player at the World Juniors. The Oilers were one of
Were
them.
one of them, yeah.
Okay, I think it might have been Columbus, number 2. But the Oilers didn't have a single prospect at this year's World
well, it
Juniors.
goes to show you where the cupboard's at, doesn't it?
Yeah, and the Blackhawks had 4 prospects on Team Canada that won.
Let alone,
last year.
yeah.
So 4 from last year in Team Canada, 4 from Team USA in this year. So that's a full cupboard of prospects.
Yeah.
But also,
But
we suck right now.
You
so.
got to. There's a difference about doing it in the NHL.
Yeah.
There's a big difference about doing it in the NHL.
Talking about my Hawks, how would you like to have been in the United Center yesterday? Chris Chelios's jersey retirement with Gretzky was in the house, all the celebrities in the house. Patrick Kane making his debut
Back in
Chicago in another because he
a
never
story.
played in Chicago last year with when he was with the Rangers, and then and DeBrincat now he's played in Chicago, but
Not the same as Patrick
I
Kane.
know. So Kane assists DeBrincat on the late game tying goal, and DeBrincat assists Kane breakaway game winner in overtime.
What a way to do it.
You can't
write that.
You can't write that.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable stuff. Yeah. And for Kane coming back from this big injury that nobody's ever come back from ever with any type of success, and he's over a point a game guy right now for Detroit, getting longer in the tooth and whatnot. I mean, that's Patty.
Every time Murray says we about the Blackhawks, I wait for Tommy to kick in the door.
Yeah,
I've been thinking about that too.
Hey, listen, I have a great big huge Blackhawk tattoo right there. So when you have a tattoo supporting your team,
You're allowed to say
I'm
we?
allowed to say we.
All
Yeah.
right. Well, I do not have any Oilers tattoos. So.
The hat's close enough. We're almost done here for the EST Hangout. I do have to give you guys a heads up. We had an intro. Well, you weren't here. We have an intro to start. We'll have an extra too, but we can't talk because the mic's still going to be live.
Can we listen to them after, though? I want to.
Yeah, I can show you them after.
I want to see this.
But weirdly enough, like I will fire it over at some point, and it's going to play for everything. But our mics are still going to be live because the board's over there, and I can't mute us. So we just got to wait like a good.
I like it.
I don't know how long that is. 22 seconds. Of
22
just
second
silence.
extra. I
Yeah,
can't.
we just
wait
got to
to
sit
see
in
this
silence for 22
this
seconds.
Is
I
day
think.
one. Of
Yeah,
the
I don't even know what it.
intro
I don't even
extra.
know how long it goes. I just see 22 seconds. I don't know if it's just an image that sits there for 22 seconds with music or what. I have
And we
no
have
idea.
to be quiet for 22 seconds.
Yes,
and not
because
say a thing.
I have time in there to go mute our mics, but we just have to sit a little quietly
Oh, my
while that happens. So this is live programming on the air for everyone that knows. Just
I
'cause
love it.
we didn't have that earlier. Murray, thanks for coming in. As always,
Yeah, all
VIP
good.
Golf Show once again coming back April 28th. Dash. It's a fun weekend this weekend. Well done to all of you
Yeah,
with
great
Heavy
job,
Hockey.
for
Great
sure.
job with the
Thank
Heavy
you.
Hockey
Thank you very
Showdown.
much. Yeah, thanks for being a part of it.
Looking forward
Great
to
to meet you, Murray.
2025, and congrats on the win as well. Congrats on the win.
Classy
Well
coach.
earned.
Classy coach.
Well
Well,
earned.
congrats on your trophy as well. It's probably the more important one.
On behalf of Dash Murray, I'm Matt. Thanks for tuning into the EST Hangout presented by White Claw. Up next, it is the Lock Shop with Dusty and Huss. And then at noon, Oil Stream. Tommy, following being at morning skate, as a Skinner getting the start in net tonight, he will join Dustin Nielson to get you set for Oilers and Kings. And then the Oil Stream pre-game show later tonight, 6 o'clock live right here on Edmonton Sports Talk, edmontonsportstalk.com, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, as well as our YouTube channel. Thanks for tuning in to the Hangout. Lock Shop coming up in just a few minutes.
Let's go. There you go, right in front of the camera.
First-time guest, long-time listener, fan of the original draft commissioner.
Welcome to the EST Hangout presented by White Claw Hard Seltzer. The difference is clear. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Zola with here, joining us today.